Hi everybody, hello. Oh no, I started streaming and the instant I do, like, my voice starts being like, nah, you're not gonna work, that's fine. And it's a good thing I checked with you if I was allowed to watch or not. Yes, you're allowed to watch. But hi Amelia, hi Toby, hi guys, how's it going? Hello, welcome. I have to turn my own audio down because I'm having trouble hearing. But how is everyone today? I hope you're all doing gloriously. I'm doing great. I wanted to do something different today, so I need to work on my D&D game that is tomorrow, and I haven't done any prep work for it, which, you know, sometimes I do a lot, sometimes I do a little, it varies. Good. I'm glad you're doing well. Hope you got some good sleep. I was actually awake this morning around the time that you probably were maybe getting ready to get up. I don't know. I was awake at like 1 a.m. this time, my time, which was like 8:30 a.m. your time. But yeah, I felt like doing something different, and I thought this would be a good opportunity to do so. This is probably not going to be the most exciting stream, and it's going to be interesting because I'm going to see how much work I actually get done. Because usually when I'm working on D&D stuff, I put my headphones on, I play music of some kind. A lot of times it's lo-fi, sometimes it's something else. And I will just sit in my room for a while, my office, or whatever you happen to call it. So we'll see how much work I actually get done. I love the little emotes. They're adorable. I love them so much. They're adorable, Toby. I know you have ads, so you know. We will wait for those to reappear or finish or something. But yeah, honestly, the only two people who are not allowed in my stream right now are Rosudo and my wife, because they are players in my Wednesday game. I have used Hero Forge, yes. Hero Forge is mostly really good for minis or kind of getting an idea of how you want a character to look. I know some people have made their characters on Hero Forge, taken a screenshot, and then made that into a token for like virtual games. I don't like doing that as much. Like typically the only reason I ever use Hero Forge is if I'm just interested in playing around with it, or I'm actually going to buy a mini either for myself or somebody else. To be fair, I've never bought a mini for myself, but I have bought them for other people before. The last campaign I ran, I actually bought minis for the entire group for their characters, which I was very happy with. I was like, as a Christmas present, I was feeling generous, but those aren't cheap. If I'm going to, typically, if I'm looking for how I want a character to look, if I'm playing a game that is not live streamed, which honestly I've not played a live stream game yet, I will look online at random pictures, and I will kind of try to find a picture of a character that kind of fits in the similar vein, and then I may change some of the ideas I had for my character based on that picture. Actually, would you like to see some character art for some of the characters that I've played that were drawn by somebody I found online? Yes. Okay. Well, first and foremost, I actually, for the occasion, did this. This is a character that I played for exactly 2 sessions before the campaign ended. Not due to a TPK, it ended because the DM had to step out, unfortunately. But this was Kalina. She was a wood elf light cleric of, what was it, Lathander? No, it wasn't Lathander. It was, what's that elven god's name? Starts with a C, I think. I could be wrong. But this was Kalina. This is one character that I played briefly. I had someone drew this for me, which was very kind of them. I don't know if I have... let me do a thing. I'm actually going to pull this over here in case there's anything weird on it. I'm looking for a specific character that I don't know if I have on here or not. Let's see. You're going to get to see some character art on here for my Wednesday game, which is interesting. I don't have Bonnie's picture. I do have this one, drawn by the exact same person, which I am a big fan of. This was Erathis. He was a celestial warlock. He was actually a nymph, believe it or a earth nymph. Which I only got to play. I got to play him for exactly 2 sessions as well. Go figure. So yeah, that's fun. I'm gonna do my best not to show pictures of character art as much that I just pulled offline for obvious reasons. But let's see. I'll have to message her back afterwards. But yes, this was Erathis. I was a big fan of, like, I love all of this. It's just so good. And let's see. Do I have any others stored away somewhere? I may or may not. Talia, that's Eve, that's Gorko. I don't think I have any pictures of Bonnie, who is my favorite character I've ever played. Man, that sucks. I would have to see if I can pull them up on Roll20 and do it that way. You know what I could do? I could do this. So this is the program that I use for my virtual tabletop. It's also how I make a lot of my maps, though I'm honestly wanting to kind of branch out and find a different way to make my maps, because the map maker on here, Roll20 tries to set everything up for a lot of different tabletop RPGs, not just D&D Beyond, or D&D, excuse me. And because of that, D&D itself kind of suffers a little bit, which makes sense. Like, they're trying to branch out and not cover just one thing. That way there's no chance, that they get screwed over by D&D making their own tabletop type thing. But yeah, that's a thing. But let me do a thing here. Let me go to my D&D Beyond page, which is the greatest. Which one? Is he on here? Oh no, he's not on here. I don't have Bonnie's picture. Oh no. Wait, where is Bonnie? Where are all... There's Bonnie, but I don't have his picture on there. Man, that sucks. That sucks. These are all the characters I have right now that I need to delete some of them because, you get obsessed with making characters after a while and you just keep making more and keep making more and keep making more, especially with D&D Beyond, which makes it so easy to make characters. Like, before D&D Beyond, like, I had to do it like everybody else did, where, you go to your books, which I have my stack of books over here behind me, and you have to peruse through the books to try to find all the information you need. And especially, like, when D&D first comes out, like a new edition, it's easy because you have, like, one book. But as D&D progresses, you get more and more and more and more material that's released, and it just becomes harder and harder to make a character because you're trying to cross-reference, like, 50 different books. But yeah, it's not that big of a deal. But anyway, this is my Wednesday game. This is the main overall map. On the bright side with this map, and if I need to turn the music down or anything, please let me know and I will do so. But we are playing a game called Orrery of the Wanderer. And if you want to know what an orrery is, in case anybody doesn't know, because I didn't know when I first started. Despite the fact that I've seen them, I just didn't know that they were called this. But this is kind of what an orrery is, to some degree. Kind of like a something that shows like a bunch of different planets, like a model of a galaxy or something like that. And it's usually a clockwork thing. Excuse me. But It is in the Acquisitions Incorporated book. And if you're ever interested in checking out Acquisitions Incorporated, please do. It's amazing. It is a game that is played online. It's played periodically because the people who play it can't really get together as often anymore because, you know, the Dungeon Master is Chris Perkins, one of the lead designers of Dungeons and Dragons. And some of the other players, most of the players are all like voice actors or writers or voice, like a number of other different things, or even they even work for D&D, like the Wizards of the Coast. Oh, maybe I heard something. Sorry. Anywho, but yeah, this is kind of what I start with on Roll20. Some people don't like Roll20, some people like Roll20, there are other tabletop, like virtual tabletop RPGs. And like I said, this can be used for other things. So it has a fairly wide array of different things you can do. This is all the tokens that I've put into the game over the years. And I literally mean years. Like I can keep going down to stuff that I put in here such a long time ago. Oh my god, Trudeau is in here? Oh god, Trudeau was like 3.5 years ago. There's Jessica. There's that. Oh my god, there's so much. It's just all stuff that I've uploaded over the years and I use occasionally, sometimes don't use. This is all my journal stuff. These are all the characters, or the player characters in the game. Like say this is Eve. If you know Rosudo, this is actually Rosudo's character, Eve. This is Eve is a human monk. This is Monterey Smiley Jack. He is a Warforged wizard. Oslin Rudernath. She is a Triton warlock. This is Paige in a Tome, or just Paige, which is my wife's character. She is a 4 foot tall Tabaxi barbarian, which most Tabaxi are like 7 feet tall-ish or so, but she wanted to play like a munchkin cat, which was adorable. This is Winnie. She is a half-elf ranger with her animal companion, Garbage, who is a raccoon. And this is Zephael Umbresia, who is a elven wizard as well. We've actually got 2 wizards in the party. And this is all of the stuff. Now, this is a module, so it came pre-downloaded with a lot of things, including maps. Like, there's a lot of maps in here that came with it, but then there's other maps that I've added, like these. Just because I was like, oh, I kind of need an area that's underground because of a side quest that they're on. So you just kind of add stuff. But then there's maps that come with the game, like, say, this one, which, as you can see, there's tons of skeletons and Duergar. There's a whole round table of liches up here, which is terrifying. But yeah, there's a lot. But anyway, actually, so this is the player's hometown at the moment. But what it actually looks like, I actually added all these notes and stuff down here for them to easy reference. What it actually looks like right now is this, because it's the middle of winter. I found this picture on online and decided to use it, which was amazing. Full credit to Morvold Press, through their Patreon, 100%. But it's absolutely gorgeous, and I love it. It makes me so happy too. My favorite D&D campaign that I've ever been a player in was the Lost Mines of Phandelver. It is the original 5th edition starter game, and it's where I met Rosudo, actually. She and I have been playing D&D together for over a year now, and it's where she and I met. Originally was playing that game. I love it. Like it was such a good game. I played my favorite character in that game, who was a human paladin, and the campaign focused around the town of Phandalin. So when I saw that the module for this game took place in the town of Phandalin, I was like, oh, not only will I happily run this game, it's going to be canon with everything that happened in my previous game, which is amazing. and it is. It's fantastic, and I love having Rosuto in this game with me because she also gets to experience like everything that happened like a couple of years after the events of our game from Lost Mines of Phandelver 2. Either too cold or too warm. There's no in between with this air conditioner, I swear. Turn that down just a little bit. But, so this is the map system. I can create maps on here. If I ever need some like basic monsters, I can be like, oh, I need a dragon. And I search the compendium and it goes, oh, look, there's a lot of dragons. Let's pull out a... Actually, you know what? Just for the fun of it, I'm going to go to Phandalin. These are the size of their tokens on the map is usually this. And let's put an ancient gold dragon for size reference, if it will ever pop up on screen. For size reference, an ancient gold dragon is, you know, pretty big. And this is just the character token. That's not like including the fact that its wingspan would be like massive and everything else. Not to mention the fact that it has 548 hit points, which is insane. And this little wizard right now has 32. Needless to say, I'm probably not going to throw a dragon at them, or at least an ancient dragon. But this is the game at the moment, which is kind of fun. In terms of how I keep track of my notes, so the module I have bought in a couple different places. I have the actual book for it. I bought it on Roll20, and I bought it on D&D Beyond, which was a decent amount of money to do so, but it pays off for me in the end. Yep, it's either too hot or too cold. Too hot or too cold. There's never an in-between. And I bought it on Roll20 because it comes with all the maps and whatnot. I bought it on D&D Beyond because D&D Beyond is just a very easy place to look. Like, it's right here, Acquisition Incorporated. I paid for it so I can actually open it up. And it actually shows you, for the most part, what's supposed to happen in the plot. But you can change any module however you want. And there are things that have changed. For the most part, it's still on track, but like it's mostly changed in that either I think something else works better as a storytelling narrative, or I think something works better, like, say, involving something the players have already done. And the biggest thing is, I always remember the players are the ones in charge. If they decide to go somewhere, they decide to go somewhere. That's basically all there is to that. I can try to coax them in directions, but you should never railroad your party if possible, unless maybe it's like a module. If it's like like a one-shot. If it's a one-shot, sure, feel free to railroad them a little bit. But that should always be something you kind of talk with your players about if you need to, like ahead of time. So some things have changed, like I said, and a lot of things are the exact same. For the most part, everything in this campaign is mostly the same. There are a couple of changes I've made, like, you know, the main MacGuffin of the story being stolen, and it wasn't supposed to have been. Though there are people trying to steal it, so it made sense, and there's a chance for the players to get it back. So, but yeah, there's a ton. This is just chapter 1, and this is literally an entire book. Book right here. Oh, this one. It is like all of that. No kidding. Is, you know, an entire book. So, and I love the artwork. I don't know how well you can see this, but I love the cartoony nature of this artwork. It's so fantastic. But anywho, so how I keep track of my notes. It varies. To be completely honest, I use Microsoft OneNote because it's easy for me to organize it however I want for the most part. There are other ways to organize things, and honestly, there are probably better ways to organize things, but this is just how I've been doing it for the past 4 years that I've been a Dungeon Master. I even use this to keep track of my notes from other D&D games that I'm a player in. I don't use this page specifically. Like, I have literally a tab just for every game that I've been in. Which, honestly, this isn't much, all things considered. but that's what happens when you have D&D games that span literal years sometimes. But like the last session, the way I usually organize it before a session starts, I will copy over my notes from the last session to the top of the next session, just so I can so I can easily reference, hey, this is what happened last time. I'll come down. I've been keeping track of the date in game because the Ori of the Wanderer is about Acquisitions Incorporated is a business. It is a adventuring business. And with that being the case, everybody gets a role within the company, or at least within their franchise of the company that they're running. So I actually keep track of the dates because on certain dates, they actually have to pay like franchise dues and things like that, and also like align meetings and stuff. And it's a little more technical than like most D&D games. I would never keep, like almost never keep track of the date necessarily, especially if it's going to be a short game. But this one I do. But I knew the party was going to be in Phandalin, the town, for a while. So what I did was I would copy every time they're in the town, I copy and paste this, which tells me kind of who those characters are, plus what they've been up to recently, so I can just quickly reference if I need it. Like Darren Edermath, he's an elf that lives in town. He's the second richest person in town. He did ask the party to locate his daughter, who has run off with a... let me turn the music down a little bit more on my end. She ran off with a potential boyfriend, and he's not really asking them to bring her back. He just wants to make sure she's safe. That's basically it. Because it's the first time she's been out on her own. And the last thing the party knows is that they had last been seen headed toward Luskan because they had kind of followed a bit of a breadcrumb trail. And that's all I know. That's all I wrote down. I didn't write down what type of personality he has because I've played, like, I kind of know what the character's personality is because I've acted as him multiple times. I mean, it's great that you guys are helping me out. I really appreciate it. I would be careful though in town. That Ditch Fundi that runs the Temple of the Coin Maiden, it's a little suspect. It's been having some weird people meet with him recently. Just be careful. And that's, just instantly jumping into a character. At least for the most part, depending on a completely made up circumstantial meeting in my head that I just had. But there's a bunch of different, and there's 100 people in town, so this is definitely not everybody. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, plus 1 because Trelina and Toblin Stonehill have a 12-year-old kid. Nearby in the, very close in the mountains, there is Wave Echo Cave, which is currently ran by dwarves, so I kind of have what's going on there. In this instance, I put possible events, meaning things I might have happen based on what the party does. This is my session prep, and then there was a festival last session that they all went to, so I kind of wrote down what basic stuff I thought might happen. But it was nothing set in stone. It was literally stuff that I could be like, oh, if the party encounters this person, this is kind of what they're up to, or this event might happen depending on how things are going. And it's literally up to me whether or not I decide to sprinkle some of these things in. It's usually based entirely if I think it's appropriate at the time. And these are my actual session notes. They're not horribly detailed, but I know some people write less than I do. Minji Greywind found Oslin, tried to convince her to let her work for Acquisitions Inc., which is the company that the party works for. Smiley spoke with Sildar, who is the mayor of the town, thanked him for all his help. Sildar mentioned he was looking for Eve. Eve saw something fall from the moon, went to go check, found the tear. Maza found her in the woods, and they walked back together to the party. And then scroll down, you can see there was a long rest, so now it's the first of the month, and they paid their company dues on the first of the month. And then they, because of a bad roll, they ended up buying 2 horses and a wagon for a more expensive price than they originally intended. Oh, and here, they have an item called the Timepiece of Travel. Paige and Oslin, 2 of the characters, teleported to Waterdeep using it, but because items don't the item is a little temperamental when it's not attached to the rest of its components. It didn't teleport with them this time because of I rolled for it to see if it would happen, and it stayed behind. So they teleported without it, and now they're like 9 days walk away from Vandalin. But they went to go meet with another party member who'd been away. So yeah, it's a lot, and it feels like a lot. But honestly, once you do it for so long, like this is what happened last time. I have my next session here. I'll say last session, copy and paste. And then I know right now it is the first, come on, first of Nidal, I think is the name of the month, probably. I know that three of the party members are currently stuck. I'll actually switch to the map and show you, because that's fun. 3 of the party members are currently stuck down here in this city, and the rest of them are all up here, and it's about a 9 days walk from one place to the other. So, you know, it's a bit of a distance, which is hilarious. But they're all trying now to get here. So what I think is probably going to happen is these guys are going to take the horse and wagon to Luskan, and these guys are going to take a boat, and depending on what type of boat they get, they could get there at about the same time, or possibly even earlier, depending. Though it is winter, and I need to really think about how that affects it.
We could all benefit from a little.
So that's fun.
Perspective. What do you mean? Under the stars, everyone feels small.
But anyway,
Keeps the ego in check.
this is what I do. This is kind of the plans that I work with and how I run things and stuff. And I have a ton of different tools and whatnot. Time for an iceberg, right? I have a ton of different tools that I use for various things that I've just collected over the years. And like this is literally just someone made a custom made creature called a Wendigo. And I thought the idea behind it was really cool, so I just saved it, and it's just been sitting here in case I ever want to use it. I love this. This is the world that this is in is the Forgotten Realms. It is the typically base standard realm that a lot of D&D games take place in. And this is literally like an almanac type of thing where you can click on it, tell what day of the year it is, find out what latitude they're in and what type of terrain, and it will give you, depending on the year, like when daylight is, dawn is, when dusk is, what quarter the moon, like phase of the moon the moon is in, if it's snowing, what the temperatures are, which is silly, and the only reason I even bother using this for the most part is simply because of the type of game it is, where they're playing a company, where they actually need to keep track of what time of the month it is and whatnot. But yeah, there's a lot. This isn't the best map, is it? Oh, it's not loading. Oh, come on. Load in, you blasted map. There we go. This is the city of Waterdeep. This is where part of the party is. They're actually up here. And you are not there. Oh, nope. That was Zephiel. Zephiel is there. Not bad. This is where they're at. They're gonna have to come down to the dock district, chart a boat, head north. I like to think I am. I've seen some dungeon masters talk about how little prep they do, and more power to them, to be completely honest. And honestly, come on, Eric, turn back on. Honestly, there's a lot that I do just off the cuff. Like, there's so much improv that I do. Like I said, with the notes, like in terms of the people in the town, I know what a lot of those personalities are. I know what a lot of those goals for those characters are, but I'll still put these here just as a reference, and then I'll improv every single conversation the party has with these characters, because I can. Like, just off the top of my head, Darren Edermath, he's part of a organization that tends to want good to happen in the world. He's an older elf, so he's probably around 500 years old. And he has a single daughter who is currently out. He is the owner of an apple orchard. He's the second richest person in town. Harbin Wester, he is the recently deposed counselor who wanted to become the mayor of the town, who was in a mayoral race against Sildar Hallwinter, and the party helped out Sildar because, one, Rosudo's character is Sildar's daughter. And it's actually funny, because when Rosudo told me her backstory to me was, oh, I'm Sildar's daughter. And I went, you don't need a backstory, you're good. Just give me some basics and I'm a happy camper. Because that was the perfect way to add her character into the game. Or add herself into the game. And it was great for us because Sildar is a character from our last campaign, that first campaign she and I were in together. So like it was just a perfect match. Harbin Wester is a sleazy, very wealthy person who doesn't mind underhanded tactics to get things done or to do things and to give himself more renown. More renown and more power. But anyway, it smells great, but go away. But he doesn't get his own hands dirty necessarily. He doesn't do the deeds himself. He just manipulates things to work for himself. He's never killed anyone, but he has no problem if somebody else happens to kill one of his opponents. He doesn't necessarily hire someone to kill someone because he does everything above board, but he does it in a way to where he gets what he wants, which is fun. Sildar Hallwinter, he is an ex-Waterdeep military guy. He is part of the Lord's Alliance, which is a alliance of all the various cities along the Sword Coast, and they're literally just an alliance for mutual protection. And they just try to make sure that nothing terrible happens. It's not so much as they're worried about, being attacked by some foreign nation as much as they're being attacked by, like, dragons or like some evil cult or something. That's mostly what they deal with. But he's the mayor of the town. He's kind of retired here. He's also still technically a contact for the Lord's Alliance. And he is one of the player characters' fathers. Linene Greywind, she owns the shop in town. Was it my Wi-Fi or your Wi-Fi that's dying? I hope it's not my Wi-Fi. It doesn't say I've lost any frames or anything. So I don't think it's mine. I hope. I mean, I hope it's not yours either, but I have a stream to run. I hope just tell your Wi-Fi to work. Just yell at it until it works. That's what I do. But anywho, yeah, that's just characters. I just know these characters so well. Zombie Creeper, hello, welcome to my chat. How are you? I'm ruining my DM's economy of his West March. How are you ruining his economy? I'm actually genuinely curious. Like, saying you're ruining the economy kind of reminds me of, like, old World of Warcraft stories where, like, people would completely ruin the economy of a server by overselling stuff. It's not my Wi-Fi. Oh, thank you, Bessie. I appreciate it. By being a Forge Cleric, that'll do it. That'll do it in a heartbeat. In my Saturday game that I'm a player in, I may or may not be about to change characters into an artificer, and I'm kind of hoping to do the same thing a little bit. Has a load every few seconds, but the signal is green. Huh. I'm not sure. I'm sorry. Other than refreshing, I don't know, Amelia. I'm sorry, but hopefully it gets better. I believe in you. But welcome, Zombie Creeper. Level 9 Forge Cleric, selling cheap items for the new players, being more business than others. That would absolutely destroy the economy, and I love it. I love it so much. That's 100% what I want to have happen with my artificer that I'm making. They're going to be a Warforged artificer, and I would love just to be like, oh yeah, I'm just going to create magic items, especially after you hit level 10 and you can make them for a quarter of the cost with half the time. Oh yes. Oh, I love it. I get very excited over it. I really do. I have nothing really going on screen. I'm just talking. But anyway, I think I should get a little bit going, probably. Just to get a little headway going. So, last we left off, my party had gone to the Festival of the Moon. To make it better, my DMs buffed Artisan's Blessing. Really? Artisan's Blessing. I don't remember what that does. I'm going to find out, though. Game rules, Cleric. Forge Cleric, Artisan's Blessing. Conduct an hour-long ritual that crafts a non-magical item. Okay, okay. No, worth no more than 100 gold. Must lay out basically like Full Metal Alchemist, equal of an exchange. Okay. How is it buffed? I'm genuinely curious. I'm familiar with the ability. I've read it before. It's just been a while. Genuine curiosity. I think it could be fun. Air conditioning, you need to stay on. It's either too hot or too cold. I hate it. I hate it. Welcome to the channel, though, Zombie Creeper. I'm happy to have you here. I have such a passion for D&D. I really do. Every day they stack the blessing, increasing the items you could spend your funding on. Someday I can make 1,400 gold items. Holy crap. Now, do you still have to... That's a ridiculous buff. Oh my god. Yeah, you could completely destroy economies with that. Like, just flood the market with items. But, there's a but. I'm interested in the but. I'm waited with bated breath. Always interested in the but, right? Always have to be interested in the but. Take that however you will. You can't use a blessing in a session, so it has to be like between session downtime stuff. It's always a choice between my store or survival. Not sure what you mean then. Is it like between session downtime stuff, or that's what that sounds like? It's a blessing in a session. Huh. Blessing on Sundays. 1,200 items. Oh shit. For 1,200 gold. Interesting. Use it the day after that. Okay, so it goes down over time. That is very interesting. Yeah, that's just an interesting way to do it. That feels, oh wow, I feel like it could break so many economies. My Saturday game, we're in the Dungeon of the Mad Mage, and like we've been playing for over a year now, and we're only on like level 4. Because we spend so much time role playing all the time. That and we skipped like 3 straight months, and we skipped a couple of sessions here and there. But yeah, like that would be amazing in that game, simply because like we always feel like we're at such a shortage of magic items. Items right across. Sell items for 15% of the item's original cost. Okay, that's interesting. I can see how you could still make like a fairly decent amount, all things considered. Interesting. Anyway, let's get back to my notes. Plate armor goes from 1500 to 225. Yeah. Yeah. God, yeah, you would destroy the market that way. There wouldn't be a market. You would be the market. You could make practically anything as long as you had the materials to make it. Oh my god. Keeping the new players longer, or players alive. Yeah, that's one way to do it. Definitely one way to do it. Choose 2 colors for your channel. This is important. Purple. Gotta be purple. It's kind of my thing. I mean, usually I'd say purple and black, but I don't know how well that stands out on Twitch necessarily. Purple and crimson. Purple and crimson works for me. Anyway, back to my, everything here. So as we left off, the party just got a message from Omen Dran, the leader of Acquisitions Incorporated, informing them that they need to head north to Luskan to investigate Dran Enterprises, which is a rival organization that has apparently been gathering information as well as gathering parts of the orrery of the Wanderer that they have been searching for. And they don't know why. So they have heard that there is a secret base in Luskan, so they're going to go try to find it and find out why Dran Enterprises is doing what they're doing. Unfortunately, as I said, 3 of the party members are in Waterdeep, way down here, and the other 3 party members, because there's 6 players at the moment, are currently in this city here. So with that being the case, they have to figure out a way out. So I know these guys were talking about taking a ship, so I kind of have to decide what type of ship are they taking, how is that going to work, what do they want to do. And a lot of times with stuff like that, I will almost always look at the player's handbook or dungeon master guide to see how fast ships are. I don't want necessarily for the party to... So straight up as a dungeon master, this is a module. It wasn't meant to be like a multi-year campaign necessarily. They're only on chapter 4, 4 out of 6, and they will be they're technically supposed to be level 6 by the end of the campaign, but I did boost their level by 1, and they're going to be level 7 by the end. Just because that initial starting dungeon is ridiculous. So what I'm going to do is I have to kind of decide what type of ships they'll be using. To make it better, our Artificer got a stronghold free from a genie. The 5 people that were there for the wish got to be co-owners, so they made me own Forge. You just got a free stronghold. That's amazing. Guys are only level 9 too. That's actually pretty impressive. Yeah, that's genuinely impressive. Wow. Oh, that feels... is this like a long-term campaign, zombie? Or is it, like something that's supposed to be shorter? Like, did you guys start at level 1, or has it been going on for a shorter amount of time than that? Okay, so... this was last time. Got this stuff here, so what I'm going to do is... session. Not session notes. Session prep. Just to make sure I have everything organized, because if I don't, I will lose track of stuff. So I'm going to say... this is Waterdeep group. Just to get kind of a separated thing. I need to look up the different speeds of the different ships, and I actually have a thing for this. So there is a website I found. You're the lowest level of the high level group? Holy crap. For 25 weeks, highest level is 13. Okay, so are you using like XP then instead of milestone, I assume? Let's go with the Forgotten Realms map here. I love this map. This is so XP. Yeah, that sounds right. That usually only happens with XP games. So the module says that the trip from Waterdeep to Phandalin, which is here, is like, I don't know, 4 or 5 days or something like that. I decided to use this map for the scale for everything because I thought it was more fun. And this is just a map of, you know, most of this continent. And I just really like it because it gives me a lot of information. It's really useful. Westmarch or open world's version of campaign with no story, just exploration. Okay. Okay. I actually don't know anything about Westmarch. Wish I did. One day. I want to do everything D&D related. Oh my god. I have played one other type of tabletop RPG. I actually ran 2 Call of Cthulhu one-shots for Halloween 2 years in a row, and that was a lot of fun. That was so much fun. Anyway, so from the city of Waterdeep, following the road, this is a distance tool that is on this website, which is amazing. And you can actually tell how far a distance they have to travel by foot to get somewhere. So if the 3 that are in Waterdeep decide to travel by foot, that's going to be at a normal walking speed, 20 days to get there. It's almost a month. But they can get there by like long ship in like 6 days. So, you know, if they find a long ship, they can take that instead, and it'll be a lot faster. I'm going to probably leave it up to a dice roll what type of ship they find, but I'm not going to give them like a fucking keel boat, which will take also 20 days to get there, because what's the point of taking a ship if it takes the same amount of time? Players make the schedule with the DMs instead of the other way around. Interesting. Not gonna lie, that'd be amazing. Like, I would love if my players would like come to me with their schedules in my Wednesday game. Oh my god. That would be fantastic. But anyway, so I've kind of checked to see how far of a distance this is, and the distance from Phandalin to Luskan on foot, which the other party is going. Technically, they're going by wagon and 2 horses. It'll be roughly an 11-day journey. So I want them to show up roughly the same time, but it doesn't necessarily have to be the same time. It can be a couple of days apart if I really want it to happen that way. I'm definitely not going to have it be like a month apart, unless they do something ridiculous, to be honest. So what I'll do is, I know they're going to want to check for ships to Luskan. Luskan, I know, is way to the north. This is already a sub-Arctic region that it's already snowing in. So it's going to be a very cold journey. So I kind of have to decide, am I going to have any combat scenarios? Now, keep in mind, I have 6 players. So the more players you have, you kind of have to keep things going, because things can get really bogged down with everybody trying to talk and stuff at the same time. Walking doesn't matter if they have Forge Cleric, Battlesmith. The Forge Cleric makes the carriage, and the Battlesmith uses its companion to drag the carriage. This is true. This is very true. That's funny. In this instance, the party's mostly walking. They'll get there a little bit faster, I think, than 11 days. Something I find interesting in 5th edition is I have the baseline Dungeon Master screen, and it tells you basic walking speeds of various things you can use to travel. Traveling by horse takes roughly, and here, according to this, the same time as it does to travel by foot. Which, yeah, take into account, horses are going to get tired, so you can't push them too hard for too long. Plus, you're going to want to walk them at times, so it's probably not going to be, a lot faster, but it is going to be faster than on foot. Or have the Warforged do it. They don't need sleep. See, that's true. There is a Warforged in my group. But I think their strength is 10. So they're not going to be able to do it. They don't need sleep, but they do need to take a long rest. So, and they can get points of exhaustion. I do not like this song. I did not like that. That was just not good for streaming to or trying to work on D&D with. Okay. So I need to decide real quick, just because I can. I actually need to mark this line again. The reason why is because it actually told me what type of boats they need to search for. And I deleted it because I don't know. I've annoyed my DMs with my 22 AC and fire resistance. Yeah, if I make that Warforged Artificer, normally with their medium armor and the +2 to dexterity, plus the +1 because they're Warforged, and the +2 because they're using a shield, and the +1 because it's a magic shield because of Artificer, they're going to have a 20 AC with medium armor. And they can cast the shield spell. And I can raise my armor class even higher as the game goes on. Like, it's it's going to be amazing. I can't wait. Does that hit? No, it fucking doesn't. I genuinely kind of can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm a little sad to see my wizard go, but you know, you win some, you lose some. Oh, I don't know if you have time, but I sent you a DM. It's kind of really important. Okay, I will check the DM. I love it so much, Amelia. Thank you. I approve 110%. Forge Clerics +1 from wearing heavy armor and make our armor +1. Yeah. Forge Clerics are nasty in terms of what they can dish out physically. They're arguably better than War Clerics. War Clerics are actually kind of soft, to be completely honest. Yeah, you can melee attack, but why would you when you're a full spellcaster? And your armor class could it'd be nice if it was higher. But yes, Amelia, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm very happy for that. That actually, before I started streaming, I was working on making a sound clip of just me going "ow, ow," and I was going to put that for one of my my either channel point redemptions or the sound clips thing, because you know that would be fun. Thank you. That means a lot. It really does. I literally have one emote right now, and I will happily, as soon as the stream's over, make that another. So we got surrounded by rust monsters, 20 of them. I used Spiritual Guardian and killed 50. Yeah, I always feel bad for rust monsters because they're like puppy dogs. That's all they want to do is eat. Like, they're not trying to attack people. They just want to eat. They just go toward the nearest thing of metal. Or that my drawing tablet is more saturated, so it looks different. Really? I like it. I think it looks really good. Urban Dre. I hope I pronounced that right. Welcome to the stream. Hello, Aspiring DM here. Any tips for my first campaign? Yeah, potentially. Like, it depends on what you're looking for. Depends on what you want to know. The first thing you want to do is Session 0 is your most important session. Use your Session 0 to make sure your players know each other. Let them give a basic idea what type of campaign it's going to be. Ask them what they're into. Like, something you can do is ask them what type of movies they're into, what type of TV shows, who's their favorite villain, and like Disney villain, things like that, to kind of get an idea, especially if it's going to be a custom-made story. Find out what things are off limits. Always find out what things are off limits, and always tell them anytime, like if something pops up in game that you're not comfortable with, let me know. Because don't be afraid to just stop. Because like everybody has limits on what they're able to keep up with. Like, some people are okay with much darker, heavier storylines and things happening in game. but some people may have a history with like sexual violence and things, and if those things aren't okay because of that history, just don't do it. It's not worth it. But always ask them, is there anything that's off limits? How dark or light do you want this story to be? And if they say not dark at all, don't make a dark story. You can make a very intriguing story without it being dark, genuinely. Zombie Creeper, their bites did nothing by armor since it was magic. Oh my god, yeah, true. Also, Druid loves me. I make them kite in medium armor. Oh my god, I would love you. Druid is my second favorite class, and never having decent medium armor is so frustrating. Yeah, their AC is so much better that way. Urban J, I'm playing with some lifelong friends running off of Cyberpunk Red module. I don't know what that is. Interesting. They're really open to anything but the issues. They are very murder hobo-y. Turn that against them a little bit. Not necessarily. Like maybe don't like attack, don't think of it as adversarial, but make it known that whatever world they're in, the police really crack down. Laertes, I hope I pronounced that right. Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Welcome to the channel. Happy to have you here. For anybody who wants to know, like, I've got multiple new people in the channel. Thank you, Urban J. I appreciate the follow. I am Oa Lover, or Owa Lover, Oa, however you want to pronounce it, doesn't matter to me. I'm a variety streamer. I typically play games like Phasmophobia. I've been doing like Pokemon Soul Silver run through. I do a lot of co-op games, and if I do PvP, it's usually like Among Us because I can lie to people because that's fun. I have an absolute love of Dungeons and Dragons, and I'm a dungeon master of over 4 years now. And this is actually only my second stream I've ever done involving D&D. But I wanted to do something a little different. Zombie Creeper Forge Cleric gets the Fabricate spell. Oh my god, they do, don't they? Fabricate's actually pretty good. Depending on how you use it. Why did the follow pop up twice? I'll probably... Oh, stream elements. You silly person. I will have to fix that. Oh well, that's fine. That's fine. It popped up both with the sound dashboard and with stream elements. That's amazing. Zombie Creeper, I use it to make monster armor. That's ingenious. That's ingenious. I would love to do that. That would be so cool depending on what monsters you found. Holy crap, I didn't even think about that. I approve of this. I approve of this wholeheartedly. Why is Happy Days playing? What? No, that's... I feel like it's gone completely off of the playlist I created that had royalty-free music on it. Why is the theme song for Happy Days suddenly playing? Like, that's not good. That's an actual TV show from the 80s. Oh my god. For those of you who are younger than me, that was a TV show in the 80s. I used to watch that all the time with my mom when I was little. I'm not that old. I'll be 33 next month. I'm a millennial. What do you want? But, Cyberpunk Red isn't D&D, it's a separate RPG system. Yep, it's just difficult to find people who make content for it. That kind of makes sense. I've never done like a steampunk type of thing with any type of D&D type stuff, but I would love to. Even just playing something like Eberron, which is D&D, would be a lot of fun. Zombie Creeper, our DM got a book of monster hunting, and Gorgon skin gives him resistance against being turned to stone. Made it for a fighter. Interesting. Girl of Diamond, sorry, my tablet broke. That's okay. Oh, no, that's not okay. Never mind. I'm so sorry. Is it okay? Is it fixed? Or is it okay? Tablets are expensive as crap. Speaking as someone who is married to an artist, tablets are not cheap. If something happened to my wife's tablet, she would have an absolute meltdown. Especially with how much she's been using it recently. Because we've needed the money so much. Button was stuck, so you're panicking. Okay. Hopefully all is well now. I hope. That would be great. I don't want any more of that. None of that. That'd be bad. Oh. 5 pounds of adamantine ore. Oh, the stuff I can do with it. Yeah. Adamantine armor is the best. I want so desperately as my artificer to find adamantine ore, because we actually found mithril ore in the mine when I was playing my wizard, but we had to use it because we lost all of our shit, including my wizard spellbook. So my wizard decided, I'll give it to these mercenaries because it's worth a lot if you guys will come help us get our shit back. And it was a hell of a fight against a drow, like small drow house in the Undermountain. And it sucks losing the mithril, it really does. But if I could find adamantine ore, being immune to critical hits would be amazing. Yeah, my drawing tablet was like 300 or so. Yeah, they're not cheap at all. Wizards love me because they can use fireballs safe around me. That's always nice. That is always nice. It's nice being something that's either resistant or immune to fire and not have to worry about it. Okay, I have been a little off track, but feel free, please keep chatting with me. I'm happy to talk to you guys and whatnot. I figured this would happen when I started the stream anyway, where I'd get so distracted talking about everything else that I wouldn't get any work done. And that's fine. Like, I still have tomorrow to work on this as well. I'm just happy to get to talk about it because, like I said, such a passion for this hobby. I love it so much. It's such a good hobby. It's my favorite form of storytelling. And it's amazing. I genuinely. So let's pick. So what I'm going to do, because there are the 3 party members that are stuck in Waterdeep at the moment, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick 3 of the ships that are on this list. Let's say the heel boat, because that's funny. The sailing ship, and let's say a long ship, because why not? And I'm going to actually make a thing here. So let's insert a table. It will literally just be 3 things. This will be, I'm going to say a 1. I'm going to say a 1 to 3. This will be a 4 to, I'll say 17. 17, 7. And this will be an 18 to 20. Oh, I messed up. Basically what this is I'm making a random table. And I'm going to put each of these ships in, and depending on what they roll, say they'll make like an investigation check or a persuasion check to a harbor master, or an investigation check to find a ship that's available, or whatever role it happens to be, depending on what they roll, is the type of ship that they'll find. And I only put 3 options on it. You can always put more if you want, but I really don't want it to be a big thing. Plus, I don't want it to be like a rowboat and it takes them 41 days to get there. So, let's see. Amelia, did you ask that one person again? I'm basically vibrating with the site for D&D. I haven't. I'm going to ask her today. I promise. For anybody who, if you guys want to know, Girl of Diamond, Amelia. She's also a streamer. Go check her out. She's fantastic. Oh no, ad break. I'm sorry, Zombie Creeper. But Amelia is... I'm going to be, hopefully, if everything goes well, and we get everything planned out and schedules aligned, I will be running a live stream D&D game, which I'm kind of excited about. It'll be my first one. It has been a dream of mine since before I became a streamer, and I've been a streamer for less than a year now. And I want to do it. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for it, and I'm hoping it goes well. She's going to be one of the players in the game. I'm hoping. I hope so. Zombie Creeper. Oh, one more thing about my abilities. I have materials or duplicate things at half the cost. Full Blade Centaur costs 100 gold. If I have the material copy, it's 50 gold. Is that part of the buff they allowed, I assume? That's amazing. That's very powerful. But yeah, that'd be fantastic. Half the gold plate armor would be great. Our fighter in my Saturday game would have plate armor by now, if that was the case. We've been playing for almost a year, and he doesn't have plate armor because we just can't afford it. Oh, that's fantastic. I love it. What did I say? Keelboat, 20 days? I'll just say 20 days, make it even. Days. The middle one I chose was the sailing ship, which I'll say is 10 days. and the last one was the Longship, which I'll say is 7 days. So it's possible they could get there before then. It's actually funny, one of my players is literally on the other side of that wall behind me. So if he's awake right now, he can hear everything I'm saying. So that's fun. I usually don't talk when I'm preparing my game. Yeah, I'm still curious if you're going to do something like you, but make it D&D character. See, that's something I'll discuss with the group, and that's something, if we want to do that, we can. I'm not going to make you guys do that. I'm happy to have you guys make characters for it, like just regular characters. Zombie Creeper, I enjoy being the blacksmith and monster armor smith of West March. That's honestly, that's like the monster armor smith is dope. That's something I wish 5th edition added into it, like had added for such a long time. I wish it had added like a compendium, like an official compendium of some kind for something like that. I know you can get like third-party compendiums and whatnot, and they're probably fantastic. I would love to have like an official one, just to have it. Even if it's not the best, even if there are third-party compendiums that are better, I would love to have it still. Anyway. So I'm not going to decide. So for this table, I'm not going to decide what type of roll they're going to make. I'm going to leave it up to circumstance, depending on how they approach it. And if they say, oh, I try to go out and find... sorry, trying to get past these sometimes to pain, but depending on like how they say they're going about doing it, I'll change it, whether it's persuasion, intimidation, deception, investigation, like just any role, basically, whatever they happen to decide to do. And then I can add more to this, but for now, I will come up to the Vandalin group, which is the other 6 party members. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another table here. This table is just going to be a random encounter table. Now, what I normally do for traveling in this game is I make them roll every single day and every single night, whether or not there's a random encounter, because that's typically how the random encounter system is supposed to work. I'm not doing it this time, just because the party's split in half. I don't want to instantly kill the party, and I don't want to I don't want to be doing this journey in game, like in the real world for like the next 2 months of gameplay, just because we're going day by day by day. So I'm just going to do one random encounter for the entire journey, just to make things, keep things rolling, basically. Zombie Creeper. I'm what's keeping everyone alive. He lost everyone to a TPK and he had 5 HP left. He forges to keep the players alive. Better armor means less fatality. It does. That is one hell of a character motivation, Zombie, and I fucking love that. Do you prefer Zombie Creeper, ZC? ZC's kind of hard to say, actually, if I say it too fast. Hydrate, stretch. Yes, I will do so. I do need a stretch. Oh. Zombie it is? Okay. Whatever you prefer. Zombie Creeper. So it's Zombie Creeper. There's a capital on the Creeper, so it's Zombie Creeper. Make sure my horns aren't falling over. I don't like calling you Creeper because it sounds derogatory, potentially, so I'll stick with Zombie. Zombie sounds good. That's okay. Anyway, I'm going to insert another table here. This is going to be a random encounter. I'll say 3 chances of something happening. I'm actually going to add another table to this, these guys up here as well, simply because of the fact that I need a random encounter to happen as well. It's from Minecraft. I figured it was. I figured it was, but, you know, I don't want someone to take it the wrong way, and I'm calling you like a creepy dude on the internet type of thing, or creepy penal on the internet, or creepy non-binary, whatever you're into. My apologies for assuming. But yeah. So let's do 1 to 3 chance that something bad happens. A 4 to 17 chance that some, like, middle of the ground. I'm going to actually lower this. So this is going to be different. This is going to be, I'm going to say 15. How dare I? That's entirely fair. I apologize. I genuinely do. And 16 to 20, something amazing happens. Just because I want to change up the percentage chance that something better would happen. Players have a blacksmith who can make PC into an NPC, so they have better chance of armor and monster growth. So this is a game that's very heavily set on business running. And right next to their hometown is a dwarven mine that specializes in making magic items because of the magic of the forge that's inside of it, the spell forge specifically, which is baked into the lore of this world. Make your PC? I could do that, yeah. That'd be interesting. Maybe you're the person... Character is a dwarf. Maybe you're the person who runs the... You know what? Matt, you're going to be a character in my camp. You're going to be an NPC in my campaign, Zabi. He's a mountain dwarf? Alright. Alright. Fucking bet. Let's see. Phandalin, we're going to say Gildurin, Forge of Spells. And give me a name, if you so desire, and you will be an NPC. I don't have a problem with that, actually. You can be an NPC as well. You want me to add Kane into my game, Amelia? Joruk, Metal Tank. That'll work. This Joruk, Metal Tank. Mountain or Forge Cleric runs the Forge of Spells. Assistant on making the best items possible to protect everyone. Oh, it's this music again. I gotta change it. Drive me nuts if I don't. Oh, that's not what I want. Go back to my freaking playlist. Stop going off of my playlist. Why does it do that? That drives me nuts. Okay. Let's get back to my stream. My apologies. Where are we? You IRL just went, oh, Kane. He's so cool. I'll add Kane. I have no problem with that. 100%. Sorry, I had to switch screens for a minute so I couldn't see my chat. Gift of Gabby, hello. Welcome to my stream. How are you? I am doing well. I'm doing fantastic today, actually. I typically do variety streaming with a bunch of different games, and I decided to do this instead because I thought it would be fun. And I'm having fun. Been streaming now for a little over an hour, and I'm talking about something that I absolutely adore, and I can't complain. For players, bring him monster parts like dragon skulls from a red dragon, gives fire resistance, or a sword that does fire damage. Yeah, I could just give them, God, what's the name of the weapon? Is it a Sword of Embers, I think? Like, as a bonus action, you can just activate it, and it, like, lights on fire. I think it's an official D&D weapon. But yeah, 100%, I could do that. But welcome, Gift of Gabby. Amelia, if your PCs ever encounter a bakery, there'll be an Amelia there. That's okay. We'll stick with one. We'll stick with one, Amelia. Just for you. Would you prefer Amelia or would you prefer Kane? That's the real question. Insisted upon making best items possible to protect everyone due to losing his friends during his adventuring days. Here we go. Each hearth with his harsh with his words, but he cares. Perfect. You'll go with Kane? Okay. Where should show a bakery with Kane? I'm going to put you in Phandalin. So let's do locations in Phandalin. What is the name of the bakery, Amelia? What is the name of the bakery? give me a name. Any name will be included. The Lil Crumb. Okay. Lil Crumb. Sorry with my grammar, I'm using my phone. That's okay, Zombie. You're good. You're good. Like it's like I for the most part I understand everything you're saying perfectly. Like, even a lot of the typos, I'm usually pretty good about being able to figure out what you mean by it most of the time. But no biggie. No biggie. What's this? Lil Crumb ran by Kane. So, Amelia, give me basic stuff about Kane that you would like included. Just simple stuff. Kane Alice, full name. Alice. Any basic stuff, and anything specific you want to stand out. I don't necessarily want like a full character breakdown. Just like some basic, like 3 or 4 little bullet points type of thing. And get back to me whenever you finish that up. Has a pet snake in his hair. Okay, that's pretty good. I like that. I can't complain about more NPCs because they're fun to run and play with. Basil. I'm assuming Basil, but it might be Basil. I'm not sure which one you prefer. I'm thinking like Basil of Baker Street from Disney's The Great Mouse Detective. Basil of Baker Street. For years, that insufferable pipsqueak has been foiling my plans. Anyway, I don't like Disney stuff, not at all. Think of 3 more bullet points. Give me a minute. Okay. I will go back to my base notes then. All right, so I can get you guys to help me if you want. So I need 3 random encounters. They don't have to be very detailed. It could be literally something as simple as, and I'm not kidding with this. It could be something as simple as there's a giant sitting on a log in the road, and I can make something off of that. I don't like, and when I say that is a random table, I can actually show you. I actually have that as a random table encounter from a previous table that I made. Where is it? A young cloud giant sits on a log. That's all I wrote. And I would just make up the rest of it off the top of my head once they got there. But just give me like 3 basic things. 1 that's pretty bad. 1 that's kind of in the middle. And 1 that's, well, the good one's going to be it's clear sailing the whole way, probably. It doesn't have to be, though. It just has to be not a combat encounter, and it could be something nice that happens. Zombie creeper. Unlike other dwarves, he likes being cheap. Even if his business is gone, he builds for them so you can see them another day. Okay. Back to and spells. I'm actually literally just going to copy and paste what you just posted. Easy on itself. Drive me nuts if I don't fix it. And it has to be the same font, or my OCD will drive me insane until I fix it. Perfect. Dragon in disguise asks for help getting back a piece of jewelry from her hoard. Ooh, a silver dragon. Okay. I like that a lot, Gabby. That's so something I'm a big fan of is dragons. Specifically, a dragon's ability to turn into a human or turn into a humanoid. Excuse me. And just blend in with society, which I absolutely love. I think I do the message. Okay. Group of bandits that are like Robin Hood. Okay. So let's say the Silver Dragon one is actually the worst one. Mostly because it's potentially an entire side quest, and you could have a pissed off dragon if you're not careful. I like that. So Silver dragon in disguise asks for help getting back a piece of jewelry from her board. It's probably going to be a young adult silver dragon because I don't want it to be too powerful. Group of Robin Hood bandits on the road. There we go. And then one just good thing. One thing that won't slow them down much, that could just be something random that happens. It could be literally something as simple as they see a dragon flying overhead. Trollkin, Goliath replacement homebrew are a bronze dragon heart became a half dragon. Okay. Goliath replacement homebrew. Trollkin. Trollkin is interesting. I've seen people use things like Trollkin before, and I love it when a DM includes something like the Troll's ability to regenerate even a little bit. Like, I just think that's really cool. A wolf pup that is hungry, a group of goblins out hunting for a rare animal to eat. Ooh, that's interesting. I kind of like the idea of the wolf pup. Hear me out. Some of the party, specifically the Warforged wizard, I discovered is very heartless in how they do things. Case in point, the session before last, 3 of the party had tried to use the teleportation device, and teleport can fail if you don't have the right materials. So they ended up somewhere completely different from, like, a little ways off from where they're supposed to go. As they're walking back, they were attacked by a hungry owlbear. They killed the owlbear and then discovered that it had 2 baby owlbears nearby. And the wizard then proceeded to attempt to capture them to the point, like, in a very aggressive, almost like risking killing them way. So I like the idea that there's a hungry wolf pup, especially since one of the party members is a Beastmaster Ranger. So that's fantastic. Oh, that's fantastic. I love it. A wolf pup that is hungry. That's fantastic. Now, a group of goblins out hunting for a rare animal. I'm going to actually use that too. I'll use that for the ship group because that's fun. So let's do this. Let's get rid of this. Lower this down again. And insert another random table. So we'll do 1 to 3 still. This is the ship group, so I'm actually going to lower their chance for something terrible to happen. No, it won't. No, fuck it. 4 to 15. And 16 to 20. This song. I swear this song. Why does it not just play the thing I want it to play? I don't understand. Anyway. Nothing about the Warforges, they're immortal, that will outlive their elf friends as well. Yeah, it's true. Kobold that says she's a princess of a distant kobold. She's guarded by 4 other kobolds. Oh, that's beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, you know what? I can definitely use... I got it. I'm going to change up your goblin one just a little bit. I'll read that in just a minute, Amelia, I promise. So the goblin one, 1 to 3, come across a ship of hobgoblins ran by a goblin captain who is basically Captain Ahab hunting his whale. Let's make this shit Moby Dick. That is the worst outcome possible. Anyway, a ship passes nearby carrying a kobold princess And it's going to be like the silliest. It's going to be like the Howl's Moving Castle of ships too. So now I just need one more thing that's kind of like not bad, not necessarily like a pretty decent thing, just something simple. Okay, Amelia, he'll give back random amounts of change anytime people pay, since he can't do math. Okay, Dyscalculia. He has quite high charisma and will try to convince people to buy stuff. They don't need game talks to stay off. Not clear if they understand each other or not, but they try anyway. If it's allowed, Kane can also be found at pubs often because he likes talking to people. You know what? I'm just going to copy and paste that as well. I have played Dragon Age Origins. Yes, I've beaten that game twice, as a matter of fact. I love it. It's a fantastic game. I've considered playing it on my channel before, actually. But it's just the fact, you know, I've played it multiple times, so I'm like, oh god. I beat the second game as well. Not as good as the first one, but not the worst game. And I did not beat Dragon Age Inquisition because I made a mistake, forgot to save it before the mistake, and it would have set me like 5 hours back because I'd just been playing for that long at that time. And I didn't want to replay through the entire game, so I just stopped playing out of frustration. But let's go back over here to Kane. Copy and paste. Change all of this over to... I didn't need to do that. That. Do this. What have I done? Oh no, I can't see anything. I don't know how I have done this. Oh my god, what have I done? This is this. Fuck it, it'll just say like that. IOCD will have to survive. Group of Dragonborn bards that can play music for the party. Okay. Something simple. A party boat filled with Dragonborns that are playing loud music. I'm not going to write anything else. I'll just leave it at that. And we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll think of something silly as it happens. Amelia, oh, and Oa, if they do interact with Kane, will you please let me know how it went? Yes. No, I hit the wrong buttons. It's still there. So like it's still in my notes, so I have it. I'll just have to, you know, fix it. Dork's backstory is similar to the dwarf world. He hates choosing sides as it causes much trauma or pain. Royalty quest. Okay. Press shift at the same time as passing the text. I don't know what this is, but I need to talk louder because apparently it's not wanting to play my fucking uncopyrighted music because it's an asshole. Why is this just not playing my playlist? I hate it. Sure. Really gotta get better music going, I swear. Hi, Bloopster. How are you? Hope you're having a wonderful day, Bloopster. Good to see you, my love. Hello. Welcome to my D&D stream. This is fun. We are making random tables as a stream, which is amazing, and I love it. Okay, so as of right now, we have a basic traveling things, which I can always add more in there as well. Want to hear about my custom monster? Okay. What? I didn't even think about that. What creature should Captain Ahab goblin ship be hunting? He's hunting his whale. What whale is it? I don't want it to be something ridiculous like a dragon turtle. My party can't take on a freaking dragon turtle. They're level 5. Custom monster. Okay. Pulp. Floor sea monsters. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? A baby dragon turtle. Baby dragon turtles would be fairly intelligent. I mean, to be fair, if dragon turtles treat their young like actual turtles, they would just be left somewhere to defend on their own. So a baby dragon turtle is possible. What is the base dragon? Maybe it's 2 words. It is. All right, what is... So it's challenge rating 17. A baby dragon turtle is doable. 100%. I could do a baby dragon turtle.
Dragon turtle.
I love hearing Marisha Ray's voice. What do you think, Gifted Gabby? Do you like that idea? Baby dragon turtle or something else? Bloopster, I'm good from a shower, now refresh. Good. Good, I'm glad. Okay, baby dragon turtle. So we need to take this and dumb it down for a party of level 5 adventurers. So let's pull up another D&D Beyond thing. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna base it off of like the base stats of, say, a weaker monster, just to make it a little bit easier, so we're not gonna kill the party immediately. You have a custom swarm monster. I'm interested. I'm interested. I'm always interested. Please, please tell me. Swarm of spider root. Quick story, quick side story. So in my original campaign of Lost Mines of Phandelver, I didn't run it, I was a player. There, in one of the areas you go to, you end up fighting these like little wood creatures, like these little wood sprites. And we thought they were going to be spiders when they attacked us. So what we ended up calling them were not spiders, because the DM was like, they're not spiders, and the rest of us were like, oh, they're not spiders. And between me and the players of that campaign, because we all kind of chat together still, we still call them not like anything that is small but not spiders, because it's hilarious. Ad break. Alright, so I need to find, let's say, 4 ads? Oh no, I'm sorry. I didn't know there were that many. I wish I could control how many ads there were. We need to go to monsters. Let's do challenge rating 4, because I don't want it to be the longest fight ever. Let's just do like 3 to 4, just to minimize the look. What sounds good? An Ankylosaurus? Might be a little bit too weak, to be honest. Yeah, ads suck. That's the reason I use ad blockers, to be completely honest. Excuse me. Though I know you're on your phone, so that's a little difficult. Ad blockers don't really work for Twitch too well. They really don't. But at least in my experience. Let's see. I'm thinking like a young dragon, maybe? Spiderroot are carnivorous plants that have poisonous thorns and bites. They are tiny creatures. I love it. I feel like there aren't enough plant creatures in 5th edition D&D. I really don't. Maybe I'm just looking in the wrong books. 17. What level are young dragons? Let's do... I have just dragons opened up right here. Do I have young brass dragon? What challenge rating are these? Probably too strong. Young brass dragon is challenge rating 8. Oh my god. The babies are challenge rating 8. Okay. Huh. Oh, no, I was looking at young, like the young adults, basically. I need to be looking at the wormlings. That's my bad. So, challenge rating 2. That's a little more acceptable. Maybe boost up the levels, the damage a little bit. There aren't many. Yeah, there really aren't. Dirk loves giving advice. Also, he warns them to never trust random objects in dungeons, mimic PTSD. He just gives advice to help them. I will add that. I'll copy and paste it. Copy. Let's go over here. Vandalin. Forge spells. None of that. That, please. This. How did I screw it up again? I don't know what I have done. What did I do? What have I done? What did I do? I don't fucking know. You know what? Just don't. Oh, it clicked off of them for some reason. I hate it. You know what? That's how it's going to stay. Just because I'm tired of dealing with it. I'm having so much trouble with this. Anyway. Spider Root have Monarch. Looks like a flowering tree that's flowers are actually regular spider root. Interesting. Careful about posting links. I do unfortunately have a link blocker up. If you want, I can do this. Feel free to. Assuming this works this time, that I should have fixed it. Feel free to join my Discord if you want. No pressure if you're on it, or if you don't want to join it, that's fine. I'm okay with that as well. But feel free to send it to me over there, or just send me a private link once you're onto it. Yeah, my link blocker will like delete all your past chats, which I really need to try to fix that. I've tried it before and I thought I fixed it, but then it didn't fix it. Okay, so I have Young Dragon whatchamacallits. Post your Art of Spider 100%. Like I said, try it over on my Discord, see if it'll work over there. But 100%, feel free to post it. There's actually a D&D chat channel on there, just specifically for D&D stuff, because I love D&D so much. And feel free to like post any D&D stuff you want to on there. Life Gambit, hello, Life Gambit. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to the channel for the first time. How are you? Hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm working on D&D prep work for my D&D game, which is tomorrow, assuming that nobody calls out. And I'm actually in the process of helping Gift of Gabby create a custom monster for a random encounter in my game, which I think is just going to be a baby dragon turtle, so it's going to be fun. I think that should be fun. I think it'll be fun. Let's take... Okay, so... I'm well, cheers yourself. I'm great. I'm having fun today. Like, today has been a good day. It went back to music I didn't want it to play. That's fine. Let's just play this then. You absolute pain in my butt. My first game of the weekend, trying to soak up as much knowledge as possible. Like, I will never regret running D&D campaigns. They're so much fun. They are so amazing. D&D is my favorite form of storytelling, and it's fun. The most important thing. So, have you done a session 0 yet? Or is this going to be like your session 0 type of thing? Thank you so much for the follow, Medio Castillo. Castillo. Not sure which one it is. I apologize if I get it wrong. But welcome to the channel. Hey, nice to meet you all. I'm content creator for D&D too, but from Chile. Here to chat with the community and have fun with D&D. I appreciate you showing up. Welcome, definitely. This is actually only my second D&D stream ever. The first one, if you're ever interested, feel free to go to my YouTube channel. It's just go to youtube.com/OLover. I actually have the first D&D stream I did, which was literally just talking about how do I get into what is Dungeons & Dragons and how do I get into it. I got into it through Roll20.net, which is what you see here on the screen. And it's what I've been kind of using for a couple of years now. There are other online tabletop RPGs, but this is the one I personally prefer. Or at least the one I'm the most familiar with. Damn it, no, I have the starter set. I don't have the group, so I have no idea of the session. You have the starter set. So you have Lost Mines of Phandelver? Because I have so many tips for you. Hydrate. Yes, Amelia. And Kane be like new in town, so you can at least be mentioned so they know he's there. I had actually planned on that. That's literally the first thing that popped into my head when I thought about adding Kane into the game, Amelia, was having them just be new because they haven't been there previously. So one of my first, I think it was my third game I ever got to play in Life Gambit, was Lost Mines of Phandelver. It's my favorite game I've ever been in. It had my favorite character I've ever played. And one of my players in the game you see in front of you is one of my best friends. And she, like, that's how she and I met, was through that game. And like, I loved Lost Mines of Phandelver. Like, the roleplay in that game was so good. And the DM was amazing. Oh, did you know you're the greatest? Oh, thank you, Amelia. You're the best too. I love you. You're great. But yes, I appreciate you. I use Roll22, but now I'm using Foundry. So my problem with Foundry is it's not as player friendly as a lot of different things. I have used Foundry for one game. I had a dungeon master. I'm still with that DM actually. I'm a player in our Saturday game. And we're actually in the second campaign, but the first one we did oh god, Waterdeep Dragon Heist. That was it. And we did Foundry for that. And I just wasn't the biggest fan of how that runs. And I'm not I can't do like computer coding or anything. I'm not the best with that. I'm still teaching myself a lot of stuff, especially after becoming a streamer. So that's kind of what I do with, like I'm familiar with it. I could use it if I needed to, but I'm just so used to Roll20 at this point. Though Foundry does have a lot of bells and whistles that Roll20 definitely does not have. I will admit. Use the correct modules. It's really cool. Yeah, like it has some good stuff. I just didn't have, and I'm pretty sure I could customize it, especially as a dungeon master, to really be what I wanted it to be. I just didn't have the best experience with it. Plus, like, I've had so much time and money spent in Roll20 that, like, it just makes sense for me to stay here for the most part. Maybe if another DM wanted me to play a game in that mod and on Foundry, I'd be happy to do it. But I just don't have any, like, probably won't switch to it myself unless like something I have no control over happens or something. But yeah, more power to you if that's what you prefer. I have my friend Life Gambit, my friend I met in Lost Mines of Phandelver. She actually really loves Foundry. She was actually making maps for a game that she's wanting to run, though that kind of fell by the wayside because she has a lot of real life stuff happening at the moment. Where she was wanting to run a Aliens, like the movie Alien, tabletop game. And she's making a bunch of maps and stuff for it on Foundry, or to go on Foundry. I have to talk really loud again because that is not part of the royalty-free music that I have. This thing is just hating me completely. It is not wanting to play the music I want it to. Why does it do this to me? I had to step away. Okay, unmute. There we go. It's awesome. My session is going to be in person. Okay, straight up, I'm jealous. I've had some in-player sessions before, or in-person sessions, but it was still through Roll20. Like, we all sat around a table with, like, our laptops playing it because I didn't have any maps or minis or anything. And that is better. That is so much better. Like, 100%, I prefer that. Like being in person, and especially it helps that the people I was playing with, I've known a very large portion of my life. Like, some of those people are still players in the game that I have on screen at the moment. Yeah. I'm so jealous. Yeah, that makes sense. But if you want to see how I got it, we could have a video chat sharing my screen, and I'll show you. Okay, we might do that at some point. Video. I hope Medio's okay. Feel free to message me anytime on Discord. I'm on there. I'm also on TikTok at just Owlover. Also on YouTube. Also on Twitter. I'll be honest, I don't get on my Twitter that often. Usually if I post something on Twitter, it's something like, is this how tweet? Because I don't use it that often because I used it too much during certain periods of my life and I kind of burnt myself out on it. But I've been meaning to get back to it at the very least. Ugh. Anyway, Gift of Gabby, my apologies. Let's make a custom monster for you. So what we can actually do is there should be a dragon turtle thing here. So I'm going to minimize this, move it to the side. Let's put a full-size dragon turtle on the map. Let's close that. Appreciate you. Alright, full-size dragon turtle. Dragon turtles are freaking massive. We're going to say it does not represent the dragon turtle anymore. It's awesome. Last Monday I started a new campaign in person. The beginning of campaigns are just so much fun. Like, they're so much fun. Okay, I prefer using the red for health because that's the way my brain is hardwired. Again, it starts playing the same song despite the fact that I know that it's not on my... It does not want to play my playlist. Which I'm very confused at. I've got to fix this at some point. I really do. Here we go. Oh, guess I got lucky, found the session on the Meetup app. I don't know anything about the Meetup app. Posted my spider route. I will check that out. 100%. Let's see. Real quick. D&D talk. Oh my god, I love them. You know what they kind of remind me of, actually? Like, faintly, they kind of remind me of the little, like, some of the little sprites on, like, Stardew Valley a bit. But maybe a little more menacing. I'm not using Spotify. I'm using... What am I using? I'm using SoundCloud. And there's CR2. Junimo? Okay. I'm assuming that's what they're called. They are a swarm. I like them. I like them a lot. Let's get rid of the HP up here. Don't need that. Cool. For this, I'm actually going to... That should have copied over onto this. Literally just this. It should be this. So I'm going to make a... Let's open this back up, actually. Edit. I'm going to duplicate. I should have made a duplicate. I did not do the thing I wanted. I definitely don't need that now. Cool. No, I'm not going to be... Oh, copy of Dragon Turtle. That's what I wanted. Go to the top. I don't want to actually copy over the Dragon Turtle stats itself. Let's make it on Roll20. So what I'm going to do is we're going to take a regular Dragon Turtle. We're going to turn it into a baby Dragon Turtle. Could search for Kevin. Yeah, Kevin MacLeod has some great stuff. I use his, like, I have music actually on Roll20 that I use, and I use his stuff all the time. Great ambient music maker that has Creative Commons in his work. Yeah, it does. Yeah, actually, you know what? That's a good idea. Let me actually search for. Let's see, does he have anything on SoundCloud? I imagine he does. I'm literally listening. The first thing I pulled up. That's okay, Zombie. You're good. Not a big deal. The first thing I pulled was this. You know what? Sure. I'll let this play. And I fucking hate you, autocorrect. That's okay. Alright, so Dragon Turtle. Or I have a baby Dragon Turtle now. We are going to power this because we don't want it to be this strong. I don't know why I closed out of young Silver Dragon Wormling, because that's going to be the monster that we kind of base it off of. Enjoy your dinner. I hope it's really good. Awa awa. See you in a bit, Amelia. Rook is high stats thanks to being Mount Dwarf. He probably has really good constitution. Is it Mountain Dwarves or is it Hill Dwarves? They get like the +1 to HP every level. I don't remember. I actually haven't played a dwarf yet. I have a backup character made. I just haven't gotten to play him. yet. Okay, so for the most part, I'm going to base this character almost exactly off of the Silver Dragon Wormling with a couple of different changes. It's Hildor. Ow, ow, I can't wait for the official emote. I can't either. I would love to have another emote at this point. Mountain gets the +2/+2. That's right, it does. And the fact that you can do custom lineage stuff now is amazing. So, baby dragon turtle. It's going to be let's say a large creature for now. Large dragon. Armor class, we'll make the armor class, I'll say it's probably like 18 still. Like, it's a baby, it's not the most hardy. The 20 in wisdom, I would hope so, he's a cleric. Though, I mean, you could shorten wisdom if you really want to. I'll just use the exact same stats as this, just to bring it down a bit. It is a large creature, so high strength. 17 con. It's probably going to have an 8 intelligence, because adult dragon turtles only have a 10. Wisdom will make it like a 9, and charisma will probably be like a 9, just because that makes sense. So the proficiency bonus is a +6 on the adult. So we'll make it a proficiency bonus +2. So we will say this is a +2. Con would be a +5. And wisdom would be a +1 now. And then it wasn't proficient in any skills, which is interesting. That's fine. Resistance to fire damage, very much okay with that. Dark vision, 120 feet, great. Passive perception is literally just going to be -1, so that's fun. It's easier to match the CR with the table and the Dungeon Master Guide to make creatures bigger or smaller. It probably is, but I'm honestly kind of doing this on the fly, so, you know, this works for me. And I'm not doing, like, a complete copy necessarily. I hear this music on TikTok so often, and I'm just like, oh, like, this is TikTok music. I mean, I know what it's from, but send character sheet link to your Discord. Ooh, I approve. Hells yes, I appreciate it. And I like the character art. I hate always roll with advantage. Add tiebreaker to initiative. Why the hell not? Challenge rating. We're going to make this a challenge rating 4 because it's going to be a little bit stronger. Actually, let's make this a plus. I don't want it to be too weak. It will put to shame the name of Moby Dick if it does. If it is too weak. It actually has a spot for proficiency bonus. Is that what I said? Huh. I didn't know it even had a spot for proficiency bonus. That's interesting. It's new. It wasn't here before. Had to grab a shower. That's okay. That's okay. Welcome back. I hope you feel refreshed. I need a shower myself. Downside to working at night, I suppose. I start streaming and I haven't had a shower. Make it proficient in survival, lose the proficiency in later ages because it gets bigger. You know what? I like that. I like that. Let's do that. So it has a -1 to wisdom because it's a baby. So it'll have a +2 to survival, which is still better than a -1. Okay, multi-attack. We're gonna give it. It is going to be a creature strong enough to at least give a little bit of trouble to a party of 3 level 5 adventurers. So we'll say it has 2 attacks. So it's multi-attack. It probably has only a 10-foot reach, we'll say, with its bite attack. 2 hit will be strength plus proficiency, so 4 plus 3, so it has a +7 to hit. I don't want to be too strong. 3 there. Let's make the damage 2d12, because it's got to be at least a little challenging. Life Gambit. Question for all, do you find it better to create a backstory than the race class to match, or vice versa? I'll be honest, Life Gambit, it depends on the character. There are some characters... Turn my air conditioner off because it's just cold. There are some characters that I have made the class first, and there are some characters I've made the backstory first. Like, it just kind of depends. Sometimes I'll for inspiration, I'll just look through the races and I'll be like, oh look, Fire Genasi. You know, it'd be great, a Wildfire Druid Fire Genasi. That'd be really cool theming. And that's kind of how I'll decide. Or like I played a human, the funniest one, at least in my opinion. I played a human Moon Druid, and the basis for the class was the first thought I had of that character was, how high can I get his passive perception? So, you know, variant human, I took the observant feat to give myself a +5. So by level 5, I had a passive perception, I think, over 20. So, like, the DM was asking everybody their passive perception, and everyone's like, 11, 12, 9, 13 at most, and I was like, 20. And he was like, what? It was great. I love it. So it just kind of varies. It's kind of a hit or miss type of thing. He can 1v1 a Lich when he gets anti-magic field and grapples the Lich. Yeah, you could. That would be insane. He may not have any more magic, but has a Warhammer. Okay. Video. In general, you make the character with an idea and then make the backstory. Still, I think that you don't know what character you're playing until 3rd or 4th session. That is true a lot of times. Yeah, you're welcome for the advice, Life Gambit. That is true a lot of times, that you really don't know a character completely until you've played them and you've had a chance to involve them with the other player characters. Because how you change things, and so this is just basic advice in general. Life Gambit, thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate it. You have a 19 passive perception, I just noticed. You're a cleric. Yeah, 100%. Level 9, you have a +4 proficiency bonus, plus your +5 to wisdom. That's a +9. Yeah, passive perception 19. You have a really high one. But anyway, basic advice. Always be careful with if it's, especially if it's like a first character you've ever played type of thing, always be careful with it's what my character would do type of thought process. That's fine for your character. This is a weird pull, and it's if anyone's too young, you might not get the reference. There's a movie that came out when I was younger called Down Periscope, and it's a funny movie. It's kind of silly humor, but I always thought it was really funny when I was little. And in it, they're on a submarine, and there's a part where they're at the bottom of the ocean, and they have to stop from making any noise so they're not picked up by like the sound speakers of a different submarine. And there's a person on the ship who's constantly trying to do things to get himself thrown out of the Navy. But during this part where they had to remain silent, he didn't say anything. And the captain walked up to him afterwards and was like, why didn't you say anything? You could have gotten yourself kicked out very easily like that. And he said, oh, I'm trying to screw myself over and not everybody else. So just remember that, yes, play your character, but remember that there are other people playing as well. So if you're going to do something that is just what your character would do, don't necessarily screw the rest of the party over unless it's something that you know your party would be okay with in advance. And make sure that you've played at least a number of sessions with them to kind of get a feel for what is more allowed and what isn't. And if you're not sure, just ask. Like, it's a cooperative storytelling game. Just ask and see if it's okay with them. I played a half-drow blood hunter Order of the Lycanthrope, so I could turn into a were creature. And I remember at level 3, I planned on going Order of the Lycanthrope. But when we hit level 3, I actually stopped and said, hey, I know I haven't told you anything about my character's backstory because I don't want you guys to know a lot, because it's fun to keep it a secret. But I'm going to play an Order of the Lycanthrope. Is that okay? Specifically because if my health drops below half, I have to make a wisdom save every turn, and if I fail it, I attack the nearest creature to me. Is that okay with everyone? I just didn't want to start attacking my party and have them get really frustrated with it. And they said it was okay, so I kept playing that character just like that. So, Midio, need the alert feat to make that passive perception massive. Yeah, not the observant feat I said earlier with my druid. I meant the alert feat. You're correct. Zombie creeper. I fucking hate the goblins in Westmarch. They always hide. A good goblin, like, you get a bonus action hide. There's no reason you should not be disengaging and or hiding every turn. Or is it disengage and dash? It might be disengage and hide. It probably is disengage and hide. But yeah, 100%. Disengage and hide every turn. Like your rogue light. Do it. It's part of the mechanics. It's amazing. Back to my Dragon Turtle. Let's see. We're going with challenge rating 4. We're going to see how that plays out. I'm actually going to close all of this and just focus on this stuff down here. But, oh, I missed it. I'm so sorry. Oh no, I don't know how to pronounce that. Yulwan Voltar? I'm hoping I pronounced that right. I do apologize. Remember, there's always the werewolf among lycanthrope and a wolf that sells wares to other wolves. Welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for the follow. I do appreciate it. I didn't want to stop talking in the middle of that because I'd have completely lost my train of thought and I'd have never found it again. Life Gambit makes a lot of sense. Definitely do not want to upset anyone. It's a cooperative thing. And yeah, it's fun to just be like, oh, this is what my character would do. Maybe, but you can really like alienate some of your other players and even the dungeon master if you're not careful with it, and that just becomes a problem. Just always remember it's a group story game. So anyway, so Steam Breath. Normally their Steam Breath does 15d6 fire damage, which is ridiculous. Being underwater does not grant resistance. That makes sense. So the cold breath of a Silver Dragon Wormling is only 48 in a 15-foot cone. This is a 60-foot cone. Honestly, I'm okay with that. Like, I actually have no problem copy and pasting just this and just change it to, or just change the damage to, it's a d6 damage. Let's do 5, it's only 3 party members. Let's do 4d6. Let's do 5d6 because they'll be on a ship with other pirates and things. So that's fun. And actually, I don't care about the average damage because I never use it anyway. I always roll. We'll say a 15-foot cone is fine. Like that's perfectly acceptable. Recharge 5 to 6 is great. And the terrible warehouse. Jeez. Yulwan Voltar. And there's also the Lone Wolf, the greatest adversary the party will face. They're adventuring lones. Yeah, it's the rogue who always goes off and tries to do everything alone, or the Moon Druid. I played one that thinks it can tackle the world because it has basically a very high amount of temporary HP it can use as the creatures it transforms into. Let's see, Bite I lowered to 2d12. We're gonna lower Claw Attack down to 1d8 because we'll say it's a snapping turtle and it does more damage with its mouth. Sweet. And its tail, the targeted creature must succeed on a DC 20 strength save. Nah, I don't think that's going to be a thing. It's 6 plus 7 before it should be 13 plus 8. Let's make this a DC 14 because that's interesting. Oh, I can lower the damage of this attack, and we're going to lower the range down to 10 feet. And we'll lower the range of the claw attack down to 5 feet, because that makes sense. Claws. This is shaping up pretty good. Custom monster. We're going to say tail attack does 2d12 plus 3 bludgeoning. It's still a pretty challenging monster, all things considered. Especially for a group of only 3 adventurers. But they'll be on a ship with like other people with like potentially harpoons and whatnot. One Voltar, it's like college alone, just 10 times worse. Given out by a wolf. I feel like it hasn't been, how long has it been since you had an ad? How many ads am I playing? Hold up. I kind of feel bad. What are we looking at? Where is the things I want? Where are, you know, all of the above. It's not letting me do anything I want. I don't think I can change it right now, unfortunately. It's like every 30-something minutes. I don't know. I don't think I can change it right now. I'm sorry. I kind of feel bad, but streamers got to stream, unfortunately. And it's 4. Yeah, one just applied for me. One when I hopped into the channel, opened just now. I'm back from the ad break. Okay. Video for one of my players. It's a Moondruid Barbarian Tiefling. Good multi-class. Made a homebrew barbarian subclass to make him able to transform into monstrosities and other no beast creatures that look like beast. That's fun. I actually have a I found somebody made a homebrew class, just a flat class called the Abomination class. There's an NPC. Oh, I've got to tell that story. I love this story. Zombie Creeper. I'm gonna love being Word of Recall at level 11. Word of Recall is amazing. Droke is gonna feel so much relief when he saves his companions from TPK. Yeah, Word of Recall is fantastic. So I made an NPC. The party in my first campaign I ran for 3.5 years. They were dealing with an Illithid, a Mind Flayer invasion of the city of Baldur's Gate, being led by an Eleutherid Alhun that was trying to become a Lich, which is really bad. Anyway, the Illithid tend to do experiments on the different races and whatnot, and they found a humanoid creature, looks human for the most part, in a tube, in a like a experiment tube filled with liquid. They released him out of it. He had no memory of anything, and whenever he got too stressed out, very much like the Hulk, he would transform into this giant abomination. And he didn't know what his name was because he had no memory, and so they literally just named him Tube, because that's where they fucking found him. And I was like, really, guys? That's, of all the names you could name him, that's what you come up. Okay, fine. Actually, I might have the picture of what he turned into as well. Let's see if I can find it. I'm actually really interested to show you guys. Let's see. Kodama, Flurry, Gelfried, Remtic, Alondo, Esmeralda, there's Trudeau, Gale, Fabor, Strange. Here it is. This, let me minimize these. This is what he turned into. And he had, depending on how stressed out he was, only partial control over it. And I loved it. It was so much fun playing him as a person and as a creature. Like, it was just so much fun. Imagine a Lich uses Power Word Kill on a level 15 Zealot Barbarian. He's standing there still. That would be amazing. Life Gambit, thank you so much for the follow, friend. I really appreciate it. Welcome to my channel, 100%. I'm happy to have you here. I've enjoyed all the conversation that I've gotten to do just about D&D stuff, and I appreciate you guys all showing up. Like, I genuinely don't get to talk about D&D too often, because everyone I know, for the most part, who plays D&D is in a game with me. So I can't talk to them about a lot of this stuff. And it's the reason I put, like, if you're one of my players, don't hop into my chat, please. That'd be great. Speaking of, let me make sure none of them are in my chat. Perfect. Good. But yeah. I love it. So, jumping back to my baby dragon turtle, Gift of Gabby. If you're still here, I hope. What do you think? Does this look like a decent enough custom monster, or should we change it up a bit? Like, I'm genuinely interested to know your input. Life Gambit, no problem. I'm here about to start reading the rules and stuff from the starter set. Want to be as clued up as possible. Okay, so if I can make a suggestion. Are your players experienced, this is a question first. Are your players experienced D&D players? Like, or are all of them new? Are some of them new? Some of them being new is fine, as long as you have at least 1 or 2 experienced players. And I say this specifically because of the first dungeon they have to go through. Lich will know True Fear when the Zealot Barbarian is there, alive and angry with 0 HP and no hit dice. Yeah, like, Zealot Barbarian is ridiculous. I would love to play Zealot Barbarian to high level. Like, I wanted so much more to happen with, who did Ashley play on Critical Role? Oh no, Yasha. Thanks so much for the follow, Yulwan Voltar. I appreciate it. Welcome to the channel, definitely. Yes, I believe so. My assumption is 70% are experienced. Good. It is a level 1 dungeon that they will probably struggle with if they're not smart about it. My recommendation, don't go easy on them, but don't make it any harder. Just play it as it's supposed to play out for the most part, barring any like player backstory stuff or player character backstory stuff you want to add into it. Maybe that's up to you. But just play it kind of like it is and see how they handle it. Because honestly, like my DM at the time, it was a game that was meant for beginners, and I knew how to run that dungeon. Because I had read the very first chapter of Lost Mines of Phandelver, but I hadn't played in it or been a dungeon master for it. And I told him I will happily do it. I will do my best not to, metagame at all. I'll even make a character that has an intelligence of 10, so he's not likely to figure anything out. 3 revives at level 3. Basically, yeah. Basically. That's fantastic. Hi, Dark Eve. Hello. How are you today? Are you out of your tent yet? Please let me know. You must tell me. I must know this, please. Life Gambit. All right. I'm not reading the story in case they play it. Want it to be fresh for me. That's fair. That's fair. Say that again. Are you out of your tent? I'm really hoping you're out of your tent. Going through the rules classes. Okay. Okay. So what we did in my game when I was a player was we did Player's Handbook only, which I thought was a really interesting choice, especially because it was a game that was meant for newer players. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll happily play a game with Player's Handbook rules only, because that's just an interesting limitation to make a character out of. Something simple, something back to basics, and I had a lot of fun with it. I really did. Welcome back, Amelia. Darky Gaming won't be for another month. I gotta have money to rent a place. Oh, I'm so sorry, Darky. That really upsets me. I'm so sorry. I really hope you get a place very soon. Hydrate. I will hydrate for you, Amelia. Posture check? Yes, I will do a posture check. I'll also pop my neck because that felt really good. Welcome to another D&D stream, Darky. I'm having a lot of fun. This is fun. Gifted Gabby, I don't remember if you were in chat still. Doesn't say you are necessarily, but it takes forever to update sometimes. I was making this custom creature for her. Everybody else, or him, or they, I apologize, I don't mean to assume. If you're still in chat, let me know what you think of this custom baby dragon turtle meant for a party of 3 level, potentially 5 adventurers with possibly like a ship crew to help them if they need it. Thank you so much for the hug, Darky. I hope you're doing well. I really do. Amelia, my family swore getting at the dinner table and I don't feel safe. So sorry. That just makes me sad. I want this to be a great place for everyone. So everyone's welcome. Everyone, I'm happy to have you here. And honestly, my main rules is don't bully people. And this is a place for everyone. No politics, no religion, none of that. I just want to enjoy the things that we enjoy. Spread some love. 100%. All the love to everybody. Happily. For anybody new to my chat, just a quick rehash. I'm Oa Lover or Owl Lover or Owa, however you want to say it. Doesn't matter to me. I'm a variety streamer. I tend to play things like Phasmophobia, as well as a number of other things. I was doing a playthrough of Bioshock, been doing a playthrough of Pokemon Soul Silver. I don't tend to do a lot of PvP stuff unless it's something like Among Us, because, lying to people's fun. But this is what I do. It's fun. I have a lot of fun here. Owa Owa. Hi, Amelia. Hugs for everyone. Zombie barbarians are scary when they brush of damage. I'm not sure what that one is. That one's confused me. I'm sorry, zombie. When we're doing another Sea of Thieves or Among Us, I haven't done when they brush off damage. That makes more sense. They are very scary. Actually, my human paladin I took as a variant, his variant human. I took, strangely, the heavy weapon master feat because the game was only going to level 5, and the heavy weapon, no, not heavy weapon master. God, that's an awful feat. Heavy armor master feat, which allows you to completely just subtract 3 points of damage from any non-magical physical damage, and it was actually really useful. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have Sea of Thieves installed at the moment because I do enjoy Sea of Thieves, but I can't have much on my computer because like I only have so much space. I really need an SD card. That and a boom arm for my mic are my next two upgrades, 100%. I need them because there's so many games that I've started playing that I can't play anymore because I don't have enough space. I keep having to uninstall and reinstall stuff. Dark is so confused. I don't know anything about D&D. That's okay. That's okay. Welcome. If you have any questions, please ask. I will be happy to answer anything I can. I've gotten so far away from actually prepping for my Wednesday game. It's hilarious. Zombie, when a vampire tries biting a Warforged and nothing happens. You know what? Warforged are considered humanoids, not necessarily constructs. I would argue that you could make a vampire Warforged, potentially, depending on the Warforged, maybe, depending on, like, the backstory of them. Time for new SSD. I need one, definitely. Life Gambit. I've not been this excited to start a new hobby for a long time. It's so good. Startup found me, right? So I'll be honest, if I did a GoFundMe page at the moment, any money that got put toward it would be toward a moving fund because I might be moving in the next couple of months, which is going to be interesting. But yeah, that's essentially. Yes, this man is living in the past and needs more game room. I'm glad you think so too. Video, vampirism is a curse. Of course, it can be Warforged vampire. Hells yes, Video. Hells yes. And like what I really think about, if they are part construct, at least part, what effect does having the vampiric curse have? What kind of mutation would occur if a like partial construct got the vampire curse? What mutations would occur? What interesting permutations would arise from that? I love to think about that. Amelia, yes, I might be moving. Possibly. We will see. You want to see the chair in the background? I mean, it has a couple of headphones in it, but it's like a bowl-shaped chair. Honestly, the only person who sits in it is our cat. It's my wife's chair. She got it, and unfortunately, a friend of ours broke it when she sat in it. And so it just kind of sits back here. It is very fluffy. It is. It's a little itchy, actually, if you don't have like a blanket over it. I normally do have a blanket over it, but I just don't today. I have a D&D blanket. I should get that and like drape it over at some point. That'd be great. You could die? Are you allergic to fluffy things? I hope not. So this music, interestingly, so in my current Wednesday game, the one I have on screen that I keep ignoring, it's so fluffy I could die. It's so fluffy. One of the player characters died. Eve, Rosuto's character, actually died in game, and she left it kind of up to the party on whether or not she came back. This is the music I played when. So I like the. I don't, for anybody who doesn't watch it, watch Critical Role. It's fantastic. It's a bunch of nerdy ass voice actors on a very much more professional set that I can manage. On Twitch, and they play D&D once a week, and it's fantastic, and I love it. But I use Matt Mercer, the Dungeon Master's rules for Resurrection. I don't like Resurrection just being free instant things. I prefer having a dice roll. I prefer not living in a like a Dragon Ball Z world where, you know, Dragon Balls make it where you can bring anybody back. There's no real repercussions. It's more fun if there's a chance that they still can't. So that's what I use. And when they cast, they got a cleric at a nearby temple to revive her. There was a moment where I had her choose like she was pulled back, her soul kind of woke up in a dark place, speaking to a goddess, or at least an avatar of a goddess. And the goddess was like, you can go back if you want. Your friends are here. They're waiting for you. You've heard the things that they've said at your passing, that they want you to come back, that they miss you. Do you choose to go back or do you not? And she had the full option of saying no if her character didn't think it was necessary. Eve, I died. No, it was her character's name is Eve. Eve Hallwinter, actually. I think you misread my last message. With a bit of luck, I'll be moving out next year. Oh no, I did. I'm sorry, I might have missed it. It could be fun. Do you have a particular place in mind that you're moving to, or is it just when you get there type of thing? Zombie, I don't know what should be my level 12 feat. I got Warcaster and Skill Mastery and Tough. So you already have Warcaster, Skill Mastery, and Tough. What is your character's strength right now? Because honestly, those are really good feats. And you're almost running out of like awesome feats to take. 15. Raise your strength up. If you have like two odd number stats, either raise up both of them to even numbers, or get a feat that, like the athlete feat, that also increases your strength by 5. Thank you so much for the follow, Axel Mylot. Axel Mylot. Welcome to the stream. Happy to have you here. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to me trying to prep for the game and just getting distracted the whole time. It's fun. When they got resurrected, they come out slightly unhinged. So it's interesting. Like, she came out and like she was saved by the goddess Selûne, or Selûne, however you want to pronounce it, who is the goddess of the moon. And she came out with like a streak of white in her hair, kind of like Rogue from the X-Men. And like that was my choice when I added it. In the West March, we got a starting feat from a small list and pick Tough. That's a good one. It's a very good one to pick. Golden Diamond, yeah, I do actually, although I'm not gonna dox myself. Axolotl? I love that. Sounds like she got hit by lightning. Thank you. It is pretty good. Axolotl is pretty good. But anyway, yeah, it does kind of sound like she got hit by lightning, but she ever since then has basically been chosen by the goddess, and she keeps having weird dreams about the moon. And like she'll look up at the moon, and the moon in the Forgotten Realms has like these little asteroids that are seen at different parts of the month, specifically when it's a full moon, that kind of look like tears drifting off the moon. In reality, it's like bits of the moon that have broken off, but it looks like tears. Actually, as a matter of fact, in the last session, one of those fell from the sky during the Festival of the Moon, because I thought it was fitting, and it was a very minor magic item that I custom made for her. Fun. I love that. I always get resurrected with a couple of strands of white hair. It would be magic mushrooms. What? Actually, I can show you that magic item, as a matter of fact. I have it here. Goddess Tear of Sacrifice. I just chose a random picture of a teardrop crystal. Because that made sense. And now this does not want to pull out at all. Requires attunement by a monk. Way of Mercy, because she is a Way of Mercy monk. It gives her, whenever she uses her healing hand ability on someone, she gets healing equal to her wisdom modifier. And she can also cast Spare the Dying. It's very minor, but effective, being a chosen one of Selûne, or Selûne. I just thought it was a really fitting item. And it has the possibility of upgrading depending on how her character acts going forward. So we will see what happens. I don't have any plans for how it's going to get stronger. I just kind of made this up off the top of my head. But, yeah, that's what I have. Dwarven Fortitude is pretty good. There is also a feat... I'm getting so off base. I swear I will get back to this fucking Dragon Turtle eventually. What is it? There is a feat. As a dwarf, you have a movement speed right now of 25, correct? There is a feat, Squat Nimbleness. Dwarf or small race. It increases your strength or dexterity by 1. You increase your walking speed by 5. You gain proficiency in athletics or acrobatics, and you have advantage on any athletics or acrobatics check you make to escape from being grappled. Great feat for a dwarf or small creature. You can finally get that extra 5 feet of movement, which is just so nice. And it would raise your strength up by 1. Or dexterity, your choice. But if you're wearing heavy armor, who cares about dexterity? This is very interesting music being played right now, but it's still part of the same track, so yeah. But yeah, Squat Nimbleness came out as Xanathar's Guide to Everything. Fantastic feat. I have used it before. It's nice. Anyway, so pulling back just a little bit, anybody who wants, I have taken a dragon turtle, kind of lowered a lot of their abilities and like damage and whatnot, and tried to make them more of a challenge rating 4 creature. So a baby dragon turtle. What does everybody think? How does this look? Do I need to change anything? Any thoughts? Questions? I think this looks pretty good, all things considered. Life Gambit, I'm going to head off, guys. Time to unwind after work. Bye, Life Gambit. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate the follow. If you ever feel like watching me play some horror games or something, feel free to come back, or the next time I do a D&D stream. This was very unplanned. I was sitting here going, should I stream? What do I want to stream? Do I want to stream a game right now? What if I streamed working on my D&D game? That'd be fun. That's how I got here. Zombie Creeper, yeah, I'm getting it. Gives you a boost of 15 to strength 16. Yeah, it's fantastic. It's been a pleasure to meet you too, Life Gambit. You think it's good? Okay. Medio, you seem like you have a little bit of experience with D&D. What do you think? Any thoughts about it? Do you think I should change anything? I want it to be challenging, but I don't want it to be too challenging. And honestly, the biggest challenge when you're fighting a dragon turtle is how fast does it destroy your ship? Because if you're out on the ocean and your ship is destroyed, you don't want to fight one of these in the water. You don't want to fight anything in the water, because water rules in 5th edition D&D suck. They suck for a reason, because fighting in underwater would be very difficult. But zombie, you know what's scarier? You want to team pure blood with Totem Barbarian. Yes. What classes are the characters? So it is the 3 characters that are in Phandalin at the moment. So it's going to be a wizard, who's up there? A wizard, a Beastmaster Ranger, who is an archer, and a monk. So the monk, honestly, probably... Oh, no, this is the crew on the ship. What am I saying? Wrong crew. Ignore what I just said. Pull back. My apology, Medio. It is still too loud in my ear. I need to turn that down. This is the crew on the ship. It's going to be a wizard, a barbarian, and a warlock, specifically. Ship doesn't matter. If you're a warforged, you don't need to breathe. Well, if you're out in the middle of the ocean, it does. Like, it's not necessarily the need to breathe that matters. It's how hard it is to fight underwater, really. On Vatar, they do find underwater fighting is best when it's done in theater of mind. A lot of times. Like, that's one of the downsides to something like this. Because if you were playing, like in my previous campaign, the one that ran for 3.5 years, one of the players was an Aarakocra sorcerer. And, they could fly. They are level 5, yes. At the moment. But yeah, they could fly. And it's kind of hard to do, like 3D combat on a 2D plane. It's difficult. Even that, you really have to stop and use theater of the mind for. Amelia, enter campaign swimming means certain death, because in every session so far the swimming rules have been really bad. Animals drown and an NPC did drown. Yeah, sounds about right. A cleric would have used Water Walk just in case. Water Walk is a great spell, but it's still not going to do you much good if you're trying to fight a dragon turtle that just keeps diving underwater. But great spell. 3.5 year long game. What the fuck? Yeah, it was a long game. D&D games go a long time. That was with us playing most of the time. I think most of the time we played once a week. But there was like a 6-month time period, maybe a little bit more, where we played once every 2 weeks because of time constraints for myself. You won Voltar. Well, even if you are a warforged, falling into the depths of the sea will be horrible. You can't swim, and you can't walk on the ocean floor for months on end, and maybe if you're lucky, you'll killed by water pressure. It's crazy. I could never. I love it. Like, it's And I always like my D&D games always run from anywhere from 4 to 5 hours, like 3 to 5 really, depending on the session, depending on what's coming up next, depending on if I need to leave early or someone else needs to leave early, or if I need to do more session prep for what's coming up next. I would love to have like 7 to 8 hour long sessions. I would love that. Unfortunately, my current players, we're adults. Not all of us can really manage to do that, and even most of the time, I can't do that. So, Warforged can swim them, most of them, as far as I know. And, yeah, planning really is what kills most D&D games campaigns. It really is, 100%. Zombie. If I make it to level 17, my dwarf will be the repairs massive forges. Guy who repairs massive forges. Yeah. It's a hard encounter, especially because it's in the water. I would do some additions to make it less difficult. Okay. Thank you, Medio. I appreciate that. You'd be up for long-ass games? I would too, 100%. It won't be for our streamed game, just because streaming and playing at the same time is going to pose its own difficulties, but I'm definitely down for longer games, 100%. If I can find the time for them. Downside of working at night, guys. Oh my god. So I need to make this weaker. I like the idea of its bite attack being a little bit stronger. I'll drop the damage on its tail attack. The barbarian definitely does not have a way to really fight it in the water, so I'm hoping she does have an intelligence of 8. She might jump into the water and charge it. She's a Tabaxi, Munchkin Tabaxi, 4-foot-tall Tabaxi barbarian. Custom subclass, Way of the Cat. Or Totem of the Cat. And I get, well, okay, she's a totem barbarian, but we made Totem of the Cat as kind of like a subclass within a subclass. And she gets the zoomies when she rages, and it's adorable. I love it. Oh, I'm missing chat. What am I missing? Level 17, your blessed affinity with fire and metal becomes more powerful. You gain immunity to fire damage. Yeah, while wearing heavy armor, you have resistance to non-magical attacks. That's always something to remember. But it's really powerful. As long as we play it at a time when my parents would not kill me at. That's entirely fair, Amelia. That is entirely fair. Voltar, walk all alone in the darkness of the ocean floor, not knowing what is beside you nor the direction you're walking. Just hope you walk straight enough to eventually reach the beach. Yeah, really hope so. Lower the strength 2 points, remove the tail attack prone condition. Make this steam breath a line. I left it as an 18 constitution saving throw. That's bad. I do agree, probably getting rid of... Honestly, we could just get rid of the tail attack. I actually fucked up on this. This should be a +7. Let's get rid of the tail attack altogether, just to nip that in the bud. Because, there's no reason to have that many attacks. There's no reason to have a third attack if it doesn't have a special ability to it. Lurk. Have fun with the Lurk, Bloopster. She's an angry furball. Yeah, basically, she's an angry furball. Let's see. I really want to change it beyond that. Line on the breath attack. Okay, we'll make it a line, but I'm going to increase the length of it just a little bit. Let's do a 20-foot line. Give it a little bit more range on it. Okay, I'm good with that. If you're good with that, Midio. The tail attack was good, because in that case it doesn't use multi-attack. Well, the problem with Steam Breath is it does have the recharge on it. Because every turn after it uses it, it has to roll a 5 or a 6 on a d6 to be able to recharge. I will make it a recharge of just 6. Because it is a baby. That makes sense. Take it easy, everyone. Eve out. Bye, Dark Eve! Have a good day. I really hope everything goes well for you, my friend. Zombie, sorry for bragging so much. I just find Forge so much fun. No. What? Like, that's what I'm about. I'm about nerdy shit. I am about D&D. Like, I'm sitting here next to, like, my my metal dice that I've never used because I'm afraid to roll it on anything in case it punches a hole in anything. I'm sitting here next to some of my dice that I just keep in a D&D box. I'm sitting here next to about 10 to 15 different D&D books that are behind me. I'm not going to pull up every single one. That would take forever. Like, I love my D20 pencil holder. It's fantastic. Not to mention all of these dice, which I think I've used one of ever. Like some of these have never even been opened. Like I 100%. We are here to nerd out over D&D stuff. It's great. Also should be 1d10 or 12 because it's a baby, so it doesn't know how to regulate steam breath to its full capacity. I don't want it to be that. See, with it being only challenge rating 4, I want it. Okay. So let's pull back just a little bit. So originally, in my notes, I made two tables. One because it's the party split to two, and they're both traveling to the same location. One going by ship, one going by land. This is kind of what I had. I want the dragon turtle, the baby dragon turtle, to be a little bit of a challenge that they could potentially run from. Hell, they could try to talk to it if they really wanted to. Have fun with the lurk, Amelia. And literally, if they roll a 1 to 3 on whatever check it ends up being, I don't know what check this is going to be. It's not going to be a random d20 roll. It'll probably be like a perception check or something, and I'll just kind of base it off that. If they roll a 1 to 3, they come across a ship of hobgoblins ran by a goblin captain who's basically Captain Ahab hunting his whale. And that was who gave me that? It was Gift. I think it was Gift of Gabby, that said a group of goblins like doing something. I don't remember what she said now. It was a bit ago. And this is kind of what I took from that and changed it into, which I really liked. It's a baby. Maybe the shell. It's not really hard. Lowering the AC by 1 more. Have that as often as the Twitch X. That's funny. 12. Talking about the recharge. Or 1d12. I like to keep it just the 1d6 because rolling, like, you have a 1 in 6 chance, so like it's a pretty low chance, all things considered. Plus a d6 roll is the standard for the recharge stuff, and I just like keeping it like that. Is like, I don't necessarily have to use the rules, but I like using rules that are already in place as a basis for everything, and then if I think something needs to be changed, I'll change it, sometimes on the fly. 3 breath attacks back to back. That is one of the downsides to facing something like a dragon, is even like over here you see like a silver dragon wormling, which is a challenge rating 2, has a recharge 5 to 6 on breath weapons. Breath weapons, guys, oh god, my voice. Recharge 5 to 6 on breath weapons, and it's possible to have it recharge every single turn, and guess what it's going to use? Its strongest ability. So like it's difficult. Give it 2 attacks. It actually has 2 attacks. Over here it already has 2 attacks with multi-attack. It can either make a multi-attack or it can use its steam breath, which is now a line. So hydrate. Yes, Amelia. And another stretch. Okay, I can do that. Oh. Anyway, you allow the barbarian to grapple its mouth shut to keep it from using it. Possibly, actually. Depending on what the strength of the barbarian is. It is only a large creature, so it is technically possible to grapple it, because medium creatures can grapple something that's 1 size larger. I would allow an attempt. It might not be an opposed roll, though. It might be like a DC you have to hit. The DC would be a little high. Maybe. It might be an opposed roll, maybe. Maybe I'll give a little bit of a bonus to the opposed roll for the dragon turtle. Anyway. I think I'd probably... It might depend on the moment, basically. Multi-attack, give an average 25 damage made every turn. How many hit points do your players have? The barbarian has hit points over like 50 already, easily. Check. Barbarian. That's her. She's fucking adorable, and I love her so much. 55, yeah. The wizard has like 32, I think. This is Smiley. He wears masks. 32, yeah. And the warlock has... No, the ranger. No, the warlock. This is going to be the warlock. Awesome. Has 39. But also, they're not going to be the only ones fighting as well. They will also have like a ship full of people who are hunting, you know, Moby Dick, basically. And they know that they are. So they're going to be probably a little, like, they're not going to be the worst fighters. And at the very least, they're going to be cannon fodder. So, okay, then we're good. Yeah, they should be fine. And the ability to stop an ability seems amazing. It is. I'm not against, like, doing that. That's a really good idea, Zombie. I would allow it, definitely. It would just be harder to do just because of how big a dragon turtle is. Even a baby one. Baby dragon turtle, maybe use a steam attack to pierce the hull of the ship, sink the ship. Possibly. Now, on the bright side, ships have a lot of hit points. So let's do 5e ships. Just sailing vehicles, D&D Beyond. A gargantuan vehicle. This is probably a larger ship. Does it actually say this is a warship? Has hit points. The hull has only 50 hit points. That's not much. Well, that could be part of the challenge, is trying to make sure the ship doesn't sink, to be honest. I might up the hit points of the ship. Oh no, the hull. I was looking at the wrong one. That's the helm. The hull has 300 hit points with a damage threshold of 15. The creature needs to do at least 15 points of damage to even do damage. So, yeah, they're good on that. But if they kill it, there should be a consequence. Big Mama when they're higher level. So the highest level this campaign is actually going to is level 7. So Big Mama, Big Mama is challenge rating 17. Average damage for Steam Breath is 52, but does 15d6 damage in a 60-foot cone. They're not going to fight Big Mama. Probably not going to happen. Probably not. It might, like, my idea is, like, I don't know what the actual lore for how dragon turtles breed and, like, release their children onto the universe is. But my idea is maybe dragon turtles, just like regular turtles, leave their babies somewhere and then they have to survive on their own once they hatch. Mama just killed a ship. Alright, baby dragon turtle. Let me make an adjustment to this. Baby dragon turtle. And as I was mentioning earlier, with a lot of these, as you can see, I don't really say any, like this one. A ship passes nearby carrying a kobold princess. That's it. Somebody in chat said, this is what you should put. I put it there, and I'm not going to put anything else, because anything else that happens, that's enough for me to make something up on the spot. And I'm happy with that. I'm happy with how that might happen. So now that I've kind of figured out why hunt it when you can barter with it, 100%. It has an intelligence of 8. It can technically speak. It's whether or not they bother, and it depends on how hungry the baby dragon turtle is. So we will see. They will definitely see it coming before it gets there, probably, unless they're not paying attention or they roll really poorly. But they'll probably see it coming, and I will let them decide on how they react to it at that point. Assuming, again, that they roll a 1 to 3 and not, like, that's only a 15% chance that they'll even get that. So they have a much higher percent chance to get the rest of this. I'm happy with that. I think that we have done a good thing, chat. So now, next thing we do is, now that we've gotten this part of, let's get rid of the right? Luskan. Imagine if they made peace with a baby and an ancient dragon turtle apologize for their child's recklessness to scare the players a bit. Straight up. I love that. We'll do 100 if they land a 99 or 100 mamas around. I love that. Mama may be around, and if they're peaceful, she shows up to apologize for reckless. Fuck yes, I love it. I love it. This is Acquisitions Incorporated is a silly campaign a little bit. Like it's definitely like The Office meets D&D a little bit. So I love that as a thing. Plus, it gives them an opportunity while running their business to potentially see if there's any business dealings like I could throw in random. We'll see. Oh yeah, Ancient Dragon Turtle is like small island size. Like they're fucking massive. They are not to be played around with. So, their destination in this campaign is going to be Luskan, which is way the fuck up here. Actually, real quick, on foot, how long does this thing get? What did I say it was? I don't know. They're in Phandalin, which is here. Do. It's an 11-day journey on foot. It's going to be like a 10-day journey because they have horses. Well, a wagon and 2 horses. So I need to actually write that down just for my own memory. 10 days on wagon. And then I have this up here for these ships. Because both parties are headed toward the same destination because they have been able to contact each other. Just, they're afraid to use the teleportation in case it screws up again, which is funny. They make peace with Mama, trade routes will be free in the ocean for their company. Yeah, 100%. Or maybe somebody reaches out to them with an award because they managed to free up the trade routes in the area. Like that's an entire possibility. I like all of those. All of those are fantastic. Now, they're going to Luskan. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually switch back to the module at this point. So Acquisitions Incorporated, this is Chapter 4. And they are going to the city of Luskan. Which is an interesting city. It is basically a city of pirates. Ran by pirate lords, essentially. It's called the City of Sails. It's not necessarily pirate lords, but they're basically pirates. And it's interesting to see how this is going to go. I don't necessarily want them to run into a lot of trouble inside the city. Like, that is a bit much. I do love some of the flavor text in this module. It's fun. A sharp, icy wind whistles through South Gate as you enter Luskan. The shops and taverns lining the thoroughfare of the City of Sails are as battered and weathered as the grim customers entering them. At first glance, the city's reputation as a den for pirates and raiders appears well earned. Just ahead of you, a wagon is broken down in front of a tavern. The elderly human driver calls out for help, but passers-by ignore her. She calls out once more, the tavern door behind her opens, and 2 guards toss out a young male human in bright clothing out into the street. He tumbles into the old woman, sending both of them sprawling to the ground. The door closes, then opens once more as a mandolin comes flying out of the tavern. I love flavor text. It's fun. You got back just in time. Welcome back, Life Gambit! I'm so glad you came back. When Voltar, with my limited marine knowledge, when big creatures like that die, swarms of weaker and smaller creatures will rush it down to take a free bite out of the carcass. They will, yes. It'll basically be like its own ecosystem. So if they did manage to kill it, they need to fend off the horde of the monsters, drive the dragon turtle carcass while making sure the swarm don't flip the ship. That might be a bit much. I'm kind of hoping this isn't like a game like... Remember, I'll have 2 groups, 2 separate groups that'll be traveling together, and I don't want one group necessarily to be stuck by themselves. Even the combat will mostly be ran by the Captain Ahab type character. So I'm just gonna kind of play it by ear. If it turns into a flat combat, I'll play a flat combat, but I may expedite it a little bit and kind of make it a little more interesting and less just flat combat. Background for my first character is pirate inspired. Please tell, I have wanted to play a swashbuckler rogue for such a long time. I want to make a swashbuckler rogue who does not have proficiency in stealth. because they talk their way out of everything, and they're more interested in like one-on-one fights if they have to. Kind of similar to what's her face from the second Dragon Age game. What was her name? I don't remember what her name was. Zombie, I just love the fact you almost died if there was no peace. Yeah, basically. Pay to play? I'm not sure what you mean, pay to play. Do you mean Roll20? Roll20.net is technically free. If you're a dungeon master, if this is what you mean, if you're a dungeon master, I recommend paying for it because you can do a master plan for so much a month, and it allows you access to a ton of different stuff. You still have to buy individual books if you want to use those modules, but there are other ways to get those books as well, and you can just custom put everything in the game. I have it written, it's kind of big. That's fair. Is your game to pay to play? I'm just curious. Oh, no. I'll be honest, I've seen a lot of those pay to play games on Roll20, and I'm just like, really? You force people to, like, I almost feel like you're like, unless you're like a celebrity type deal and like a lot of people know who you are, I kind of feel like someone just thinks way too highly of themselves to be like, oh, I'm a really good dungeon master because I say I am. I'm going to make everybody pay to play with me. That's what it feels like. Like if it was like someone like well known on the internet or something, sure, it kind of makes sense. But you know, I don't know what race class you use for it. But my friend says human swashbuckler rogue. Hells yes, that's what I want to do. Variant human. That way you can take a feat because that's always fun. Don't take the mobile feat unless you just want to because some of the abilities kind of mesh. They mesh too much, like they overlap, I should say, not mesh, with the swashbuckler abilities. What, pay to play? Mercer would make sense. I feel like Matt Mercer would not make people pay to play D&D with him. Like I feel like especially considering their company, I feel like he would pay people to play with him because that's what they do anyway. He did do pay-to-play games before, but more or less they are paying for the artwork I'm making for their character. That actually, you know what? That actually is valid. I've never thought about that. That's actually valid. You would have to pay for the character art for it. So yeah, that makes sense. All depends if the DM thinks it would fit. We'll have to see. That's fair. That's fair, Life Gambit. I would recommend, if you're going to take a feat as a swashbuckler rogue, Lucky is fun. Maybe their nickname is Lucky, so you take the Lucky feat. The Lucky feat is incredibly powerful. And I've never used it on a character because I want to build a character specifically with the idea that they're just a lucky person. Use Peak Root. Yeah. Amelia showed me that. It's actually pretty good for making character art. Mobile or alert. Alert is very good. That way you can't be surprised. Plus you get a bonus to your passive perception. Alert is fantastic, especially if you're playing like a really paranoid character. That's a great choice. I tend to not take feats unless they make sense for my character. Like, why would my character take the alert feat? They're just really paranoid. They're always worried that somebody's out to get them. Why are they paranoid about somebody out to get them? Because they're running from somebody. Who are they running from? Oh, they borrowed money from a loan shark. Why did they borrow money? They borrowed a bunch of money to help make sure that an orphanage wasn't closed. They're actually a really good person. They're basically a Robin Hood type character. But now they're on the run. Because they have to be. Halfling with the Lucky Feat and a Divination Wizard, 3 levels in Bard. I feel like we've spoken before, Yulwan Baltar. Because that is my dream character, and I've talked about it on stream before. That is one of my dream characters. Halfling with the Lucky Feat, 2 levels of Divination Wizard, 3 levels of Bard, and make sure, actually, you know what, go 6 levels of Bard, take Magical Secrets, and get the Bless spell. That way they have Bane and Bless as a Bard. That way you do nothing but screw over your Dungeon Master by changing all the rolls. Oh, I want it. Not with the idea of screwing with your Dungeon Master, just because it's funny not to let rolls fall to what they just naturally are. Leo, I really agree with the pay-to-play, because in general, the hours of prep that invest in... Yeah, some DMs invest a lot of time. Be awesome to be able to make a living out of DMing. that honestly is my goal. It's the reason I want to do a live stream D&D game so much. I don't necessarily want to make my players pay me to play it, to do it. But like doing it on Twitch and actually potentially making some money out of it just sounds freaking awesome, to be honest. Sakar, born in a fisherman's village, lost his parents aged 12 but saved by pirates, became a pirate for 12 years before fleeing for his life. Now adventures for money and revenge. Very short breakdown. Simple breakdown. Honestly, I would accept that as a full backstory potentially. Like, you don't even have to give details necessarily until the dungeon master really asks for them, unless they ask for them in advance. Just because that is simple, and it's enough to create an entire campaign out of. But anyway, I keep getting very distracted. Let me pull back just a bit, and let's dive back into this a little bit. So back to Luskan. So they have arrived at the City of Sails, ran by pirate lords. I don't necessarily want the party to deal with the pirate lord like fiasco that is the government here in town and whatnot necessarily, unless they fall into it. I'm more worried about them just continuing with the main plot, because this is a module that does have a main storyline. So some of the things that they could come across: trouble at the South Gate, where I mentioned through that flavor text how there's an elderly human that is currently fixing her wagon. Also, a guy with a mandolin gets kicked out of a tavern. They could try to catch the mandolin, it says here. Acrobatics check. Tavern is the last dregs. The owners don't care for strangers. Basically, what they're doing is they're looking for leads to Dran Enterprises, the organization that they're searching for. And so there's actually a bread trail crumb, basically, that you can follow through this, what they already have here. But the real question is, how much do I actually want to use? Do I want to use a lot of it, a little bit of it? Do I want it to be a genuine breadcrumb? Like, the secret base of Dran Enterprises is supposed to be secret, so I think it makes sense for it to be kind of hard to find. But, let's see, zombie. Party should go to a Taras death site where Jorek sends them on a side quest to make a deal with the people over there to trade with the dwarves so they could get monster parts. See, if there's a Tarask death site, like, there needs to be a lot of lore having said, oh, there was this great calamity 1,000 years ago, or like 100 years ago, hell, 50 years ago, that everybody knows about, that literally changed the face of the landscape because this massive, gargantuan creature came through and was literally destroying mountains in its rampage. Like that needs to be like a whole, like, Tarasks are massive, at least a third of a campaign portion that really needs to have some build up to it. It's side quest with a Taras. Side quest with a Taras does kind of sound fun though. Just something absolutely ridiculous like that. Not a bad idea, all things considered. The game store near me has a residential DM. You more or less pay for the food he provides. It's far more expensive. At least the players won't feel like they got cheated out of the game if the game exit allows them to miss out of the game. That's true. That is true. Breadcrumbs, just the wrong type of bread. I love it. I love it. So there's multiple people that the people can talk to, like that driver that has trouble. Works as a wagon driver out of Neverwinter. Her hired help fled after a failed bandit attack during her most recent run north. Made it safely to Luskan alone, but her wagon wheel's just given out. So Duvall sells her goods to Ship Kurth, which is one of the pirate lord ships. They're called ships. In the city. Could also introduce the characters to its merchants, though she does not have any influence with them. So that's an in, basically, it's giving. Like, this entire section here plays like, oh, this is supposed to be like just a stopping point as they get to the Dran Enterprises outpost or hidden base. Honestly, that's where the real fun begins. Oh, the real fun. And I've got multiple maps that I need to make for this too. To do it, the dwarves make a berserker great axe for the barbarian, a cursed weapon with the soul of a Tarask in it. That might be it. So our barbarian already has the soul of a character, of a NPC inside of it. So, you know, pirate lord ships, get it. The portal. So once they get to Dran Enterprises, I was mentioning, there's a portal nexus. It's intentionally made to confuse anybody who's not from Grand Enterprises. Anytime you enter the portal nexus, it randomly teleports you to one of 6 potential places. Some of them are really cool. Far Realm Horror, you're teleported to a teleporter that is partially on the Far Realm, where you end up fighting this giant tentacle monster. It's great. There's one, my favorite one, called River Barge Crossing. The whole idea behind it is that all of these ships are constantly moving, and the players spawn on one side through the teleporter, and this other group appears on the same side but a little ways down the river that they can see. And those people are led by a secret organization that the party didn't know that they were going against yet. They don't even know they exist. And this is where Chapter 4 is going to be a big thing, especially when they do this part, because it reveals these secret operatives that are working against them. And they have to manage to get across the ships, which are all moving at various paces. Each of these ships, each of these little barges has something different going on that could potentially prove an issue. One has animals on it. If they charge through it carelessly, they could upset the snakes that are on it. One is filled with like spherical fruit that they could step on and slip and fall. Like there's a bunch of different things. And to be able to get past this area, they can see on the other side of the river is another portal entrance. And they're racing against the other group to get there. They can also attack the other group, but the other group is also just trying to run as fast as they can to the other side to see who gets there first. And I love this interesting dichotomy and this interesting combat encounter. It's just going to be a lot of fun. Sounds awesome. Great job. 3 souls in a singular body sounds so chaotic. Just a little bit. Rick and Morty portal maze. Hell yes. But this isn't, I will say, Life Game Bit, I didn't create this. This is part of the module. This is a pre-written thing that, like, Dungeons and Dragons, like Wizard of the Coast, with Acquisitions Incorporated wrote. Like, it's, I love it. I just love the concept of it. The Triton swimming, passing everyone, winning the race. She could potentially do that. There is a snake in the water, specifically for anybody who tries to do it. Let's see. What is it? River Barge Crossing. Not the strongest. Honestly, this encounter, like all these encounters, are meant for a party 1 level weaker. There is a snake in the water. It is a giant poisonous snake. Not the strongest character, like enemy, but when you're in the water, it's a pain in the butt. And it can grapple you potentially. So, you know, swimming could potentially be an issue. So I am excited for them to try that. Very excited. I just felt my table vibrate. Where's my phone? Are there any messages from anybody that I should worry about? Just to make sure. I have been streaming for a while. I just want to make sure that... No. Okay. All good right now. Cool. Awesome. Ever watched the movie Anaconda? I have watched Anaconda. That's an interesting thought to it. I love the idea, and she's a Triton, so she can breathe underwater. But I love the idea of it just dragging her down into the depths. Plus, she can become poisoned, so that's always fun. Unless there resists the poison, which doesn't matter. Actually, she is a reborn. She's not actually a Triton. I forgot. She's technically a reborn because she died and was brought back by her warlock patron with no memory. That is Marisha Ray's. So she does have a swim speed. I remember. Let's see. She should have still have the swim speed. I just want to double check. Triton swimming speed. So she still has a swim speed, so that's good. So she should be better in the water. But it's only like a 30-foot swim speed, so, you know, that's always an issue. I can't remember. I think Reborn are resistant to poison, so I believe they are. Let me get rid of this before, you know, my players log into the game and just see a fucking dragon turtle on the screen. She can speak to water creatures. Patrons be like that. Yeah, I've reached out to you for your extended marriage warranty. That is 100% true. 100% true. Excuse me. Let's see. So back to my notes. They're going to Luskan. So I need to make a bullet point version of what is in the module. Something easier to read, something I can very easily reference if I need to figure something out. Warlocks have sugar mamas and sugar daddies. Yeah. Yeah, they do. So as they walk into the city, I read them basically this. Whenever I'm playing, I always have D&D Beyond plus this open, just to make sure, because like D&D Beyond, that way I can have the actual module open in case I need to quick reference something. Okay. You have a cool character concept you want to try? Please enlighten me. I'd be happy to learn of it. But of course, I did not expect this stream to go this long, guys. I appreciate you guys all joining me. Thank you so much. This has been a ton of fun for me. I've been having a lot of fun doing all this. And I really enjoy being able to talk to people while I work on this. It's been great. I think it'd be like one of those very good insurance companies. Yeah. Is there a good insurance company, though? Anyway. Okay, so... Driver in... let's not have this bold. Driver in need. Wagon feel busted. If they help her fix it. There is, but only for the super rich. That's 100% true. Anyway, probably no politics. It's my fault for even going that route. Debal. What's her name? Ball came down from the north out of 10 Towns, which is the name of the town in the far north. It's literally at this point, it's just picking what I want out of the allotment of stuff here, plus maybe changing some stuff if I think it's necessary. I am just going to copy and paste this over because it's how to deal with Debal's busted wagon. She cannot afford repairs. But she does share information that, let's see. Okay, Dran Enterprises, okay. She can't afford to pay the party, but knows that Dran Enterprises frequents a tavern for fishermen. And then I will copy and paste how to take care of the thing if they want, because that's just what the book says it is. I have no reason to change that at the moment, and I can always look at it later, but at least I have it down in case I need it. Color and that, because I also don't want this. It's going to drive me nuts if I don't fix it this time. Paladin of Bahamut, Warlock Patron of Tiamat, one promising to revive their family if they release them, one trying to help them move on from his family's death. Yeah. Angel and Demon on each shoulder type deal. That would be a fun character concept. The only problem with that, I think, would be getting your DM to agree to it, because that might be a lot to handle necessarily, but like I'd be down for it. That'd be pretty freaking awesome. Anyone here is running a semi-serious game? I kind of want to join a game, but I'm mute, so someone needs to read my text or I get... Okay. Yeah, 100%. If anyone's down for it, like, definitely. Also, if you don't use it, you on Voltar, feel free to use Roll20.net. It's a great place to look, and you can customize your searches by days of the week and things, so maybe you can find something like that, definitely. Good luck to you. Gamer! Good morning, gamers! I just woke up, saw you streaming 2 + 2 = waffles for breakfast, and a great stream to start my day. Welcome, gamer. It's good to see you, friend. How are you today? Welcome to my D&D stream. I'm just sitting here talking about D&D stuff. It's This is great. I've been having a lot of fun with this. Hope you got some good sleep. Hope Gamer Dad's doing well. I bet, guys, there's no live for some reason. Yeah, some people, you can. Best thing I can say on Roll20 is apply to a lot of different things, because you know most of the games they want you to apply to. Apply to a lot of different games and just kind of go from there. Sometimes you'll have to wait a week or two, sometimes more. That's usually what I do. I was looking at the spell clerics getting, holy crap. Yeah, cleric spells are no joke. They're pretty good. Keep in mind, a lot of cleric spells are very expensive in terms of materials, though, so just keep that in mind going forward. GamerDad is doing well. He's watching Wild West TV almost every time I wake up. That's fair. Sounds like my grandfather. He's always watching old westerns. Fireball is a level 3 spell, technically, but you have to be 5th level to cast it. That is really the only spell you need, though, isn't it? That is. Fireball's all you need. It's the only spell you need. It's what got my paladin, my favorite character, killed, was the wizard in the party casting Fireball because she had a wisdom of 10 and an intelligence of 18. Excuse me, a wisdom of 8. I love that game. It was so much fun. Okay, so I've got what I need out of that. I could do the thing with the failed minstrel. I like the flavor of it, and I like the idea of the minstrel being kicked out. I think I'll write down the minstrel's name, but I don't really feel the need to have them like multiple NPCs they could talk to necessarily. But I'll write down their name at the very least. Minstrel getting kicked out is mostly angry and wants to find somewhere to apply their trade. That's all I need, and if the party decides they want to talk to this person instead, I can always switch gears and do that. But I'm not really focused on that. So the next thing, I don't know why I exited out of that. Here we go. When the cleric is tired of the lit shit, uses Summon Celestial. Okay, I've used Summon Celestial once. It's okay. It's okay. It's not the greatest, but it's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. Come out here and see you talk about D&D. I want to try it sometime with you. D&D is fun. D&D is a ton of fun. It's amazing. You can also go Meta Magic Sorcerer, Cleric, and make all your spells like Revivify cost you nothing. You can't do that with I believe you're talking about Quicken Spell, Silent Spell? Silent. No. Subtle Spell. Subtle Spell doesn't get rid of material components. It only gets rid of verbal and somatic. So you would still have to use the material components for Revivify, unfortunately. It might have done that in older editions. I think there's older editions of Meta Magic where it got rid of material components as well, but I could be wrong. We're allowed to make a second character, and I'm using the most underrated fighter subclass, Arcane Archer. I have been wanting to make an Arcane Archer. So I look at Arcane Archer like this, and you've pushed an OA button. An OA button. That's essentially what this is. I look at Arcane Archer like this. One, yes, it is a bit of a fucked up subclass. It should have been Ranger. It makes sense for it to be Fighter also, because Fighters are arguably better archers than Rangers. It's not even arguably. But all of that aside, when you make a class, when you make a character, make the character first. Make the flavoring for that Arcane Archer, no matter what the limitations for the subclass are, really good. Make an interesting character, and it doesn't matter how lackluster some of the abilities are. Hell, you can even multi-class them to give them extra abilities if you want, or take a feat and early levels that gives you something like Magic Initiate, which gives you a little bit more spells to play with. There's no reason that just because the mechanics aren't min-maxed necessarily to be the absolute best or necessarily always on par with everything else, that it should be that bad. Like, now, should Arcane Archer probably have been something similar to the the Battle Master, probably with like the D8s maneuvers you can do so many times per short rest. But still, like even with that, like they kind of treated the Arcane Archer spell shots kind of like Warlock spell slots, because you get them back on a short rest. No, they're not going to be necessarily as powerful as Battle Master or something else, but like you can still make some really good flavoring off of that. I wanted to play just a straight Elven Battle Master fighter for such a long time. Kind of makes me think of the what is it, the monk subclass, the Way of the Elements or whatever. Same thing. Like you can 100% take that and customize, like put some feats in there to really customize it and make it your own and have fun with the flavor and the character you make and not just the mechanics. Gamer Dad, I apologize, however I do not understand this D&D thing. That's fine. That's entirely fair. Level 8, or replace it with Moonstone with the other wizard class. I love Grasping Arrow. Magic resistance is useless against it. Yeah, 100%. Is it though? Is it use? It's technically a magic arrow. It's actually an interesting thought. A good buff is Arcane Shot should be increased to their proficiency. Honestly, I kind of agree with that a little bit. If not proficiency, at least maybe with your intelligence modifier. Because as a fighter, you're going to also probably put points, at least a decent amount into dexterity, just be able to make the shots to begin with. Like, I would straight up max out dexterity before I did my intelligence as an Arcane Archer. So you're definitely going to be, like, have more stats to worry about. Resistance is only for saves. Oh shit, that's right, it is. I didn't even think about that. It's a good thought. Best character is the one you have more fun with. Talk to your DM, talk to your fellow players outside of the session, talk about everything that you want to do with your character. Remember, no one can read your mind. 100% video. Thank you. Talk. Everyone. Talk to people. Let people know how you feel about things. Don't be afraid to bring something up. And bring it in a very simple, want to just, you're wanting to solve the problem mindset. Don't come at anything from an adversarial standpoint. People have asked me, how have I been with my wife for the past 17 years? It's because we talk about everything. It's the same thing applies there as does with D&D. You talk about everything, guys. Like, you talk about stuff and you discuss it as adults. We're not children. Some of you might be. I don't know. Whatever. I don't care how old you are. Either way, you are human beings. Talk about things. And it'll get you a long way. It really will. And remember, people have their own wants, fears, thoughts, concerns. You don't know what someone's been through for any day, at any given point of the day. Remember, we're all human. And if someone gets upset, just give them a bit and try to talk to them sensibly, one-on-one. And remember, just to love each other, guys. Just remember to love each other, please. Come on, Voltar. So why can't you go and pick up your magic arrow that you have shot and get those arrows back? I think you can get the arrows back, you just can't get the magic back. The physical arrow, you could probably get back, I would argue, but the magic from it, no. Nah. Grasping arrow is athletic check only, yeah. I'm a 37-year-old adult child, been multi-classing. I love it. I love it so much. Welcome, Millennial. I'm happy to have you here. I'll be 33 next month. So, yeah, I feel that. Been doing a lot of multi-classing in my life. Oh my god. Sometimes I wish I could have stuck with, just a straight, simple class. Especially Wizard would have been great. But, so I made an insane purchase a while ago. It makes all my friends question me. Okay, gamer. I don't wish to question you. I'm curious as to why they're questioning you, gamer. Please enlighten me. BRB. Okay, I'll see you back in here in a minute. And while you're doing that, I am going to continue scrolling through here because I really do need to do a little bit. Broker. With a couple of initial clues at hand, the characters can start the search in earnest for the tavern frequented by Drand Enterprises. Unfortunately, most folk in Luskan are smart enough to not talk about Drand Enterprises too openly. Characters are rebuffed or ignored during their initial inquiries. Eventually, though, the party is referred to Eris, said to broker deals between guilds and other organizations. Eris works with Ship Terrell, can be found in a small but well-maintained curio shop. Okay. Eris. There's a lot of gnomes in this campaign. I kind of want to change Eris away from a gnome into something else, just because I like using some of the more exotic races. that you don't see as often, like the non-player's handbook races. I'm baby. That's okay, Amelia. You're doing great. You're doing great in life. You graduated, and hell, you even traveled to a different country, something I've never done. You bought a $1,600 lightsaber. A $1,600 lightsaber, my dude. You know what? It's your prerogative. You spend what you want. Good job. I want to see it. You will record a video of yourself using it and send it to me in a private message. Because it has to be awesome if it costs that much. It better be awesome if it costs that fucking much. Jesus. I am enjoying the what is it? I don't know how to pronounce that. In der Haldes, I don't know how to pronounce it at all. Bird something. I would have to get Amelia for that. You'll send it to me. Good. Music's perfect for what they said. You actually can. I think that in 3.5 D&D was a rule that you had a chance to take the arrow back. Most of them break, though. So, my general rule of thumb is, depending on the game, like if it was a more serious game, I would say you can make a roll based on how many arrows, like keep track of how many arrows you use, make a roll, we'll see how many you get back. But typically, I'll say for a game where I'm not worried as much about people keeping track of stuff, you get 50% of the arrows back. So just get back half of them, just to make it easy. Just to make it easy. I'm enjoying this. My jam. Okay, so Eris, the deal broker, a legendary resistance is fantastic. I wish all of my characters had legendary resistance. Players don't get legendary resistance, typically, unless, you know, they become gods, but, you know, whatever. I am digging this music. Turn this up. Oh, for the arrows. Yeah, legendary arrows aren't really a thing for... Or legendary resistance for arrows isn't really a thing. Oh, you mean for the grasping arrows to... Yeah. Yeah, because I think legendary resistances are only for saves. Yeah, they're only for saving throws, and grasping arrow is an ability check. Just keep in mind, most things that have legendary resistance tend to be bigger than a grasping arrow can technically grasp, because I think grasping arrow can grasp, large creatures are smaller, I would assume? I think grasping arrow you can use twice because it's one of the magic arrow abilities, and magic arrows can only on an arcane archer can only be used twice per short rest. If I recall. Oh, limit the size? Interesting. That actually interests me. I do want to check that, because that's interesting if there's no limit size. Arcane archer. There isn't a limit to size on it. Huh. Unfortunately, it's poison damage, which most things do resist. It's the most commonly resisted or immune damage type in the game, but yeah. Like the having to get out of it or a grappled thing is pretty good. Well, my Wi-Fi immediately died after I declared I was baby. No, I'm sorry, Amelia. Welcome back. You are the baby of the group, but we love you for it. It's okay. Mostly us talking about the mechanics of grasping arrow and whether or not legendary resistances would work on them. Affect action economy to the enemy. It would, yeah. You're right, Zombie. It would definitely affect the action economy. It is 2d6 slashing. It is magical damage on top of that. So yeah, that's pretty good. It's pretty good. I approve. Arcane Archer really isn't the worst class. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. You're still getting at max level the same consistent damage that a fighter does. So, anyway, back to my game. Probably not going to be streaming for too much longer, as it is almost 2 p.m. now. And I unfortunately do have a few things I need to take care of. But I might stream a second time today. Hell, maybe. I don't know. Let's see what my wife wants to do today. I don't know what she has planned. -10 movement is really big. So, Eris. So, I have a question for you guys. So, the party is supposed to eventually meet a gnome deal broker that deals with guilds and other organizations. She is supposed to be a gnome, but I don't like that. I prefer swapping it to something other than gnome, because there's been a lot of gnomes in this game. So what do you guys think? I pull up a list of all the different races. There's a lot. There's a whole lot. And I'm kind of interested to see what you guys think. What would be an interesting race to do? So this will be a gnome who is a deal broker in a place called the City of Sails, ran by pirate lords. An orc is always fun. I'm very much okay with an orc. Owlin, Aarakocra, Asmar, Ergenasi. Like, there's a lot here. The dumbest man. That's a little racist. Always assuming the orc is the dumb one. Start streaming it too, but it's in Spanish. You don't need to come. You know what? I don't care. That won't stop me from dropping you a follow, my friend. Oh, that's not what I want. Go back to here. We'll do any of the other races in this tab for the other game. Yeah, I'm not putting any limit on the races. Yeah, you're welcome, Hideo. 100%. I appreciate you coming to show me support. I really do. Like, I'm happy to have you here. I appreciate your knowledge of D&D. I appreciate your help with the baby dragon turtle. I really do. I'm really bad about making things a little too strong. This secretly smart. But yeah, there's tons of options here. Feel free to pick. Like, I've included one turtle in the game. I thought that was a lot of fun. It is 1:53 p.m. my time. I'm not sure what time it is there. I believe it's 6. You're 6 hours ahead of me, I think. So it's what, 8 p.m. Will I run a more serious campaign? In the one that I'm about to run, which is going to be like a 3-part like mini campaign. Oh, it's 6 there, so you're 4 hours ahead of me. Yes, it's nearly 8. 6 hours ahead of me. Anyway. The campaign I'm going to be running, it's going to be a bit of a... I haven't discussed it with the players yet, so I don't necessarily want to say yet what it's kind of going to be about. But there's going to be, I'm thinking, more serious tones, depending on what happens. But we'll see. Yeah, good morning, Yoan Batar. Like, very much good morning. Yeah, Gamer, you're about an hour west of I am, of me. Maybe another time, Yoan Batar. I do apologize. Unfortunately, it'll be my first online game that I'll have ever ran. And I'm sticking specifically with 3 or 4 people that I've known for a while, plus people who are streamers. But maybe next time, definitely. I'm talking about our game, Amelia, the one that I plan on running with you guys in it. With you, Maddie Sperry, Homicidal Lollipop, and potentially one other. Curse of Strahd campaign, I'm playing a Barbarian Warforged going Ancestral. Okay. Speaking English is not that good, but if you want, we can chat on stream about D&D sometime. I would love that video. Like, I would absolutely love that. Okay, our game. Let's go. I can't wait. But I've so far for this gnome who is turning into an orc instead, she'll be are there any other votes for races, or should we just go with the gnome? Yay! Thank you for the hug, gamer. What do you guys think? I like the idea of her being an orc. I have no problem with that. It would be interesting instead of it being one of the normal player's handbook races. I'm interested to see what else that we could use. I think it would be fun. But I'm good with that. Yeah, screw it. She'll be an orc. Okay. All leads lead to Eris. Orc female. Deal broker between guilds and what now? My brain just went, nah, fam. I don't want to. Guilds and other organizations. There we go. Organizations. I don't know why my brain demanded that. 16 intelligence, 16 wisdom. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Maybe a bit much. She is supposed to be just a commoner. I can give her a really high... intelligence and wisdom. Like, typically commoners have like 10s across the board. You know, Midio, okay, gotta go. Thanks for everything. Have a nice day. Bye, Midio. Thank you so much for your support and enjoy your stream. Have a wonderful day. She is a deal broker. You can be a deal broker with 10s across the board. Okay. She works with Ship Turtle. There's a half-orc thug named One Tusk that stands guard outside the ship. A enormous half-orc named One Tusk is her guard outside shop. Let's see. This music is a bit much now. Let me go ahead and turn that down. Can't let it be too loud, otherwise it messes with. Sometimes, otherwise it messes with my thought process. I love that. I love this as flavor. Eris is inside polishing bottles containing miniature ships. She claims that these were once real ships forced into bottles through powerful magic. But you know. DC 15 insight check suggests that the ship isn't worth a ship in a bottle's 100 gold sell price. But she only answers the party's questions if they buy one of the ships. Fuck it. Copying and pasting this. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I'm gonna do what color? Just that. And I accidentally clicked on that. Didn't mean to do that. Going to remove the link and then get rid of the bold because that's going to drive me nuts if I don't. Alright. That's pretty good. Honestly, this alone, like the journey, may fill half of, if not the entirety of the session, which I'm actually very much okay with. Imagine if they go to an anti-magic field and falls out of their bag and a boom a ship. That'd be pretty dope. Not gonna lie, that'd be pretty fucking dope. I'm not actually gonna do that because it might be a bit much, but plus part of their part of Acquisition Incorporated, the book included ways to create home bases really interestingly, and depending on what level and what rank you are with a company, you get different upgrades. One of them is a movement upgrade. The party literally decided that their base, their mansion that they live in and that their business is operated out of, should just have legs a la Howl's Moving Castle. And I was like, yeah, sure. Cool. This game's supposed to be ridiculous. Go for it. Now, it cannot leave a specified area around their base of operations, which is the town of Phandalin. I think it's a 50-mile radius, which is a pretty big area, all things considered. And it can only travel up to the normal travel distance per day. But I love it. Imagine Big Mama is their base. Oh my god. I didn't even consider that. The dragon turtle? That would be so cool! To ride on, like, your base of operations is on the back of a fucking dragon turtle that you have to keep fed. Otherwise, she might dive underneath the water and, like, just drown all of your assets. I love how I thought of this really cool idea and immediately thought of a way to make it difficult. Oh, being a dungeon master, though. Being a dungeon master. I love it. As abandoned water base on a shield. Yeah, that could definitely be a thing. What is this? This is an NES remix. What is this music? Genuinely curious. I kind of want to check real quick. It's just an adventure meme. That's just all it says. Okay, Kevin MacLeod, do better about naming your ship. Honestly, I'm happy with what I have written right now as the prep. It doesn't feel like much, but I can easily make a session just off of this. Like, not even the stuff with Luskin. I can make an entire session off of these tables very easily. But yeah, I'm happy with that. I think I'm going to leave it at that for now, just because I am hungry. I've been streaming for almost 4 hours now, and I think we're going to go ahead and call it quits, at least for this. I'll still stick around and we can talk for a little bit. I'm very much okay with that. But I think that for now, my D&D talk is done. Let me switch screens here. Anyway, they could buy upgrades and get materials to make the water shell base into a stronghold. That would be pretty freaking dope. It really would. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. Zombie Creeper, thanks for showing up. Amelia, thanks for hanging out with me this much. Let me know about the D&D stuff when you know about the D&D stuff. I will. I am literally, after I stop streaming, I will ask her. I promise. But yeah, this was fun. This was very therapeutic for me. I'm happy to have gotten to sit here and talk to all of you. I can't wait until Joette gets introduced. Me too. I think that's going to be fun. Can't wait for the D&D stuff. Honestly, I can't either. I'm happy to continue on. Let me know if they like Kane. I will happily let you know. I'm excited. I'm excited for all this. Bye, Bloopster. Are you leaving? I'll see you later. This was fun. This was a lot of fun. I definitely have to do this again. I've never done a just sit around and talk about my hobby type of stream before, which, I mean, I've sat around and talked about my hobbies before, don't get me wrong. I've talked about D&D multiple times on my streams, but I've never sat here and talked about, like, just specifically focused on D&D throughout the entire thing. Buy a singular Scroll of Recall just in case things, you'd almost have to, though Scroll of Recall being a 6th level, I think it's 6th level spell, is going to be very expensive. If you have any questions about him, let me know. I will, Amelia. Leaving the Gamer Dad, didn't get to say hi. Hi, Gamer Dad! He kind of said hi to me. You said he didn't know what D&D was, to be fair. It has no spell components. The spell itself is still going to be expensive, so when you're creating spell scrolls, they cost an amount to make. Because it's a consumable, it costs half the normal amount. For a 6th level spell, you know what? You're going to make me look this up, aren't you? Look it up because I don't remember specifically. Hi, Gamer Dad. I'm glad you're doing well. 5e magic item prices. I want to know the. No, it's not going to show me here. Pull my Dungeon Master guide out. We'll get you a general sense of how much they. Even with no spell components, it does. Magic items are just hard to make, and the higher level a spell is, the more it costs to actually make it. So this is magic item rarity. Thing of recall. Anything about scrolls? Scroll mishaps. Okay, so Scroll of Recall is probably going to be a rare or very rare 11th or higher. You don't get 6th level spells until level 11, I believe. 11 or 13, I don't remember. I think it's 11. So it'd be very rare. Very rare items cost anywhere from 5,000 to 50,000 gold. At least if you're going by Player's Handbook. This is on Chapter 7, page 135 of the Dungeon Master's Guide. And that's, again, if you're using these particular rules for it. So to create a Scroll of Recall, it would cost half of the actual amount. So assume it's 5,000, it's still going to cost 2,500 gold to make. And to be able to make any profit, it has to be sold for more than that. So it's not cheap. It's not cheap at all. But it's doable. It's definitely doable. And if you're an artificer, you make it for even less than that, which is really cool. Which I love. Anyway, I think it's about that time, guys. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. This is a lot of fun. Thanks for hanging out with me, Zombie. I've loved bouncing ideas back and forth with you. Thank you for everybody who's dropped me a follow. I appreciate your support. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, I am a variety streamer. I stream a number of different things, a number of different video games, anything from Phasmophobia. I was doing a playthrough of Final Fantasy X, which I need to get back to. I will not forget about the emote, Amelia. I will 100% be putting that into an emote today. Could only make one in his life. If you could make more, it just depends. Like if it's only 5,000, you could definitely make more, but it would take a long time. But if you're an artificer, it takes half the time, so that's always something to consider. But yeah, just for balance, probably, yeah. But yeah, I played Final Fantasy X. I was doing a playthrough of that, which I played before but wanted to replay. I was doing a playthrough of BioShock. I have both of those still on my hard drive. Pokemon Soul Silver, Among Us. I was doing Dragon Ball Fusions, which I haven't gotten back to yet. Oh god, too many games. I play Sea of Thieves, which is technically PvP, so I guess I'm wrong. I do some PvP.